Flyers next year. Right now, the hockey attention is here. The Spectrum in Philadelphia. The series tied at 2. He's not used to getting shoved around, but the Lightning have muscled their way into the playoffs, and they dished it out against the likes of Eric Lindros. Their flair helped Brian Bellows and the Lightning steal a 2-1 advantage in the series. A desperate Philadelphia team needed a kickstart Tuesday at the Thunderdome. John LeClair was the spark. His 2 goals keyed a 4-1 victory and deadlocked the series at 2. Lightning and the Flyers next. The Spectrum in Philadelphia, where some great hockey's been played, and it's not done yet. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Flyers with the series even at 2-2. Hello, everybody. Gary Thornville, Clement Delmore, Gandy over the last 2 years. The number 8 seed has knocked out a number 1 seed in the first round. Tampa Bay is trying to do it again this year. I think Philadelphia's been mighty surprised, Bill, by what's happened so far.
Not only that, Gary, they've been mighty inconsistent. What has kept this series very interesting is that the Philadelphia Flyers, while finishing number 1 in the Eastern Conference, at times in the series have played like a first-place team. At times in the series, they've played like they don't even belong in the playoffs. Are the Flyers the superior team? The answer to that question is absolutely. Can the Tampa Bay Lightning win this series? Answer to that question is also absolutely. They've already won 2 games, so that's what makes the series interesting. Have to see how this one comes down, but the Flyers, if they play to their potential, should win this series. The question is, can they do that?
Well, I'll tell you something. The man they've got to knock down has been Eric Lindros all season long. Physical play, Tampa Bay, you better believe it.
When you are the 8th place team, and that is what Tampa Bay is coming into this series, you got to have something up your sleeve. What Terry Crisp pulled out of his sleeve is something that he remembered from his days here as a member of the Broad Street Bullies, the physical play. Tampa Bay Lightning led by number 95, Michel Petit, also Igor Ulanov back on the blue line. They've actually terrorized Eric Lindros. The advantage the Flyers have now is that John LeClair is back in the lineup. He's a huge guy that drives the net. That should take some of the physical attention away from Lindros.
All season long, Tampa Bay has lived and died with Darren Pupa, their netminder. Last 2 games out, back spasms. Tonight, he's back.
Darren Pupa has not been day-to-day. He has not been hour-to-hour. He's been minute-to-minute. The problem for Tampa is this. If they find out Darren Pupa's back isn't any good, they may be behind the 8 ball before they realize they should yank him.
Oh, we are ready to go. Can Tampa Bay continue a great run they're having here in the first playoff year they've ever had? If they do, they got to stop John LeClair, the man in the background, 2 goals in the last games. And Dale Hawerchuk leads Philadelphia in scoring 3-3. Back here in Philadelphia, nobody expected this series to be tied at 2-2. As a result, Tampa Bay has given itself a chance.
The only certainty we have is it's going to be a crunching game. We're going to track hits tonight. We think the over-under will be 1,000, 1,100.
They'll be doing the same thing in Toronto, and Tom Mees and Darren Pang have that one, guys.
Gary, at Maple Leaf Gardens, the Blues can close out Toronto tonight with the victory, and if they do that, John Casey, the reserve netminder, Darren, deserves a lot of credit.
It's unbelievable. With Grant Fuhr going down in Game 2, John Casey hasn't missed a beat. Spent most of the year in Peoria of the International Hockey League, played in nearly 45 games. That's the key. John Casey right now has got himself on a roll with saves like this in Game 4. This beauty off Matthew Schneider. Then the most explosive player for the Toronto Maple Leafs would be Matt Sundin. How about the glove save from John Casey? And in close, Wendell Clark had few chances, but this one was a beauty as well, and Casey came up big.
Well, Casey is 34 years old. He fits right in with his veteran group, and they appreciate his play.
He's come in and just played fantastic. I think when Grant first got hurt, we let up as a team, and they scored 3 quick goals on John, but ever since then, John's just played fantastic. Last game, for an example, he really held us in there in the second period.
Every one of John Casey's teammates right now are really taking him in, and it's showing what kind of team they are. They all believe in what John Casey's all about.
If John Casey is sharp tonight, I like the Blues' chances to close out the Leafs tonight. That's it from Maple Leaf Gardens. John Saunders, take it away.
All right, Tom and Darren, thanks a lot. Alongside Barry Melrose, you think they're a little tight on the corner of Carlton Church tonight?
Well, both of us have been in Toronto, John. We know what it's like. You could make diamonds out of coal tonight in Toronto. Cliff Fletcher's traded most of the kids, most of the first-round picks for the next few years to build a veteran club. A lot of pressure on them. The rumor is everybody's gone if they don't win this series.
Another series, Vancouver right now tied with Colorado 2-2. Bit of a surprise there.
Big surprise, and what's Vancouver's doing, John, they're showing the weakness in Colorado. You got to go to the net against Colorado in front of Patrick, and you got to be a physical force. Do you know project, 3 goals in the playoffs already. People do not like to play against this guy. That's why. Florida, Van Beesbroek has been great, John. He's outplayed Ranford. That was the key of the series we talked about earlier. The best goaltender was going to win. He's been the best the first 3 games. Ranford, a lot of people say, is injured, and that's the key there. Shepard, been unbelievable, doing exactly why Brian Murray got him, scoring goals. No one does it better than Ray Shepard.
All right, so Florida has a chance to pull off the sweep. It will be just the second sweep in this year's first round thus far. Right now, let's get it out to the game to Gary and Bill.
John, thanks very much, and welcome to the Spectrum. Of course, the sellout crowd will be on hand here tonight. One of the big reasons they are here, the man who went through all the controversy when he could have gone to Quebec, didn't, ended up staying here, Philadelphia, and Eric Lindros, their captain and leader.
Absolute centerpiece, and like most stars in the playoffs, Eric has a big bullseye on him. That is why Michel Petit and Igor Ulanov are starting for the Tampa Bay Lightning. This will be a physical game. You like physical hockey? Sit down, relax, and watch.
Michel Petit is loving every minute of it. Eric Lindros, they're not going to try and get him off the ice against Petit. Terry Murray, his coach, saying, look, he's too good. We're not going to fool around with that. He's out there. They want to play somebody against him. So be it. Off the face-off, it is tipped away, and we'll come back down the other way here. Face-off will be in the Philadelphia end, as we'll have Hextall and Pupa, the 2 netminders, in tonight.
That was a set play for the Flyers right off the face-off, but it didn't work, so the face-off is coming all the way back down. Terry Crisp behind his bench without a couple of players that are offensive-minded in this hockey game tonight. Roman Hammerlich with the flu is a scratch. Paul Eisenbart, another offensive player, captain of the team, healthy scratch. Lipuma, Bruin.
Hammerlich has been in an ongoing press feud over the last week with his coach, Terry Crisp. His disappearance tonight has raised some eyebrows. Everybody says it's the flu. Tipped away to center. He complained to Crisp about not playing enough. Said the reason was he wasn't Canadian. That did not go over big with Terry Crisp.
I don't think it's his kind of series anyway, Gary. I mean, if it was an offensive series, yes.
But players offside, moving in on the right side with Lindros.
I mean, this is a bloodbath kind of series. An absolute physical war. That is not Roman Hammerlich's best style to play.
But he is their second leading scorer during the regular season. There is their number 1 netminder, and that is Darren Pupa. 1-1 in this series. He got pulled in game 1 that they lost 7-3 5 minutes into the second period.
And obviously he is capable of starting. The question is, how long will he last? We know one thing. Darren Pupa is the reason the Tampa Bay Lightning got into the playoffs.
The veteran Ron Hextall, 39 and 36 in his career in the playoffs, is in there. He has played them all for Philadelphia. Pupa held it up behind the net, jammed around far side and out. Looking for some big banging to go on in this game. Sean Antoski, one of those for Philadelphia, can do that. Lost it back in the zone. Corey Cross cleared it back up through the middle. John Cullen is out there and back in the lineup tonight for Tampa Bay. Cullen had been injured and out. They get him back after he missed 1 game with an injury to his right elbow.
Kind of an interesting line rotation for Terry Murray. Obviously, the Flyers want to establish the hitting game early. You've got to start Eric Lindros' line first, but it's Corkum, Platt, and Antoski, the second line out. Now Terry Murray is coming out with what is generally considered his second line. But as far as I'm concerned, Gary, it's the team that establishes the hitting game first and can continue the hitting game that will have a slight advantage. It's like, let's see who can beat the other team to the punch here.
Face-off won by Brendamore. Rod Brendamore is out there with Quinn and Pat Falloon on this line. He's got to step Falloon in. The shot save made. Pupa. Rebound tipped back to the near side. First good scoring opportunity at Pat Falloon breaking in. Had a lot of room over there on that wing. Intercepted near side. Solovanov's out there. He's out there with Cullen. He's had a great series. Cullen, Solovanov, and Burr. There is Burr in the corner. Solovanov trying to move it back in. Could not. Desjardins had it, lost it. Jammed up off the near side boards. Brendamore looking to break it out with Kevin Haller. Haller, the defenseman, leads the charge. Haller in. He'll take it in. It's deflected by Cross into the corner. Both check around to the near side, and it'll be brought out of the zone. Opening up here with a lot of fire. Burr shot it in, broke a stick on it. Haller picks it up, cleared it out to center. Ulanov over to get it. Ulanov will be out there when Lindros is out there. As Bill mentioned, he and Petit have teamed up defensively most of the time. Ulanov is out there right now with David Shaw. Whipped in down the left wing side. That's Ulanov going back to get it. Got spun around. You don't have a lot of room. You got to move quickly. Zamaner gets it out. You can tell the players know that by how quickly they're touching the puck and moving it.
But the Flyers want to establish kind of a jump and chase game when there's nothing in the neutral zone that gives them room to rush. What that means is pressure on those defensemen back there. Tampa Bay's breakout when they're under the gun like most teams. They're just going to rip it around the boards and let their ringers fight for it.
Dykhouse took that last hit as Jason Weimer moved in. A delayed penalty coming up here, and there's the call. Bill McCreary, our referee, Kevin Collins and Leon Stickle, two veterans. The linesman working with McCreary. The interference will come against Tampa Bay. Zamaner's going to get it, and the power play, the first one of the game, will go to the Flyers.
Terry Murray, the Flyers coach, knows that Game 4 a couple of nights ago in Tampa was the first game the Flyers played in this series where they really didn't shoot themselves in the foot. They were running out of toes. They have not played consecutive games in this series to Terry Murray's liking. Most of the goals that Tampa has scored, the Flyers have had possession of the puck first. One thing Terry wants to do, number one, cut down mistakes. Number two, get some ugly goals. I mean, he understands you can beat Tampa with a good, grinding, physical game. Forget the finesse, drive the net, get some ugly goals.
He said this morning our team's playing at 80%. We have not had our tempo. We have not had our flow. He told me we're nowhere close to our A game yet, and it's time. Zamaner goes, 2:27. Power play opportunity coming up here for the Flyers. Philadelphia, 2 for 7 in Game 1, 1 for 8, 1 for 5, and 2 for 7. 22% effective rate here in the playoffs. Philadelphia's power play during the regular season, they scored 82 power play goals, second at home and 21st on the road with it. Cleared up off the near side boards of the attempt. Lindros shut it down. Aaron Gavey was over there and knocked that away, and it's cleared out of the zone. Good work, David Shaw, to help get it out of there. Held on to by Hextall at the far end. No score. 3 minutes into the first period. Philadelphia with a power play opportunity. Philadelphia took the regular season series against Tampa Bay. It was a physical series. Shaw touches that one, and it'll go the length of the ice. Hextall will come back to play it at the other end.
This power play is especially where Terry Murray wants to score ugly goals. He said his guys are getting into position before they have possession. He wants them to work harder at it.
Down low, Leclaire. Lindros was set up in front, intercepted before he could get to it. Short-handed the other way, Burr. Burr moves it in with Anderson. His shot was deflected off a defenseman's stick and over the glass. Al Morganti's with us down there at ice level. Tell us what's going on there, Al.
Well, thanks, Garrett. Well, you think here in Philadelphia, the playoffs, Eric Lindros is the man, right? Well, at least for this week, John Leclaire, the man. His 2 goals in Game 3. Couple of reasons why Leclaire was available in that game. Number one, the hyperbaric chamber. It's the kind of that oxygen tent that helps you heal by getting blood to that injured area quicker. He spent some time in there, came back early. The other reason, a guy named Garth Brooks. Because of that situation in Florida, the Bruins in Florida had to change the date of the game. The Flyers got an extra day rest. He was healthy, came back and burned him with 2 goals. He has 25 points in 19 games against the Lightning. Guys,
that's the team he plays so well against, as we showed you in the open. So Leclaire's return important for Philadelphia. Brendan Moore tipped away, cross over to get it. Cross trying to clear. And finally, on the second effort, it's out of there. Mikhail Anderson cleared the length of the ice. Power play has not gotten set up very well here. 37 seconds remaining on the advantage. Peter Swoboda having an outstanding series. He and Dykhouse have done a great job defensively and playing the point on the power play for them. They're back around the boards. Nobody was over there. Chased down and then easy out of the zone on that one. Nobody got to that one over there. Bocek just moved up and gone.
Garrett, that is what Terry Murray said the problem is. That is getting into position before you have possession. People are waiting for somebody else to get the puck. You have to support the puck chaser. There it is again. Where's that second flyer in there chasing down the puck?
Shaw put the big hit on. The puck deflects over into the Tampa Bay bench. And the power play has only 4 seconds left on it.
You can imagine what it's like trying to stop John Leclaire, as big, as strong as he is, and a 51-goal scorer during the regular season. But if you're Tampa, look at these numbers. I mean, he has just had a field day against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the last couple of seasons, plus playoffs. In 12 total games as a member of the Flyers, 14 goals, 8 assists. Yes, Eric Lindros will get a little more room with John Leclaire in the lineup.
He came to life after coming from Montreal, doubling his goals per game from .22 to .64. He has been great with them. Faceoffs have gone all to the Flyers so far, and add another one. Terrian takes it back after Bobby Corkum won it. Power play is over. Philadelphia does not convert. So the Flyers here in the playoffs, 6 for 28 now against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay killed it off. Michel Petit gunned it back into the middle. Poke check by Therrien into the corner. Good play Therrien on Brian Bellows. Bellows 23, primary offensive threat out there for Tampa Bay. And Toski kicking that one into the zone. Petit with the hit on him. Bobby Corkum going to the corner. Corkum a big hit on Bill Holden. Held on the near side, and Toski getting into it. It was he and Weimer along the side. There's Holder. Holder starts it out for Tampa Bay. Bounces off Weimer's skates. Came free at center. Big jam up. Can't do much with it. Nobody controlled at center. Bellows trying to send it in. Had it blocked. Both teams changing up. Tampa Bay trying here. Almost had too many people out on the ice. Chris Pratt was up in the forecheck. Therrien got turned around. Had to wait until he will complete their change.
Very well. Tampa had almost too many guys on the ice. The Flyers only had 3 out there. They got caught in the middle of the change. Nobody wanted to come out because the play was right by the bench.
Those are good odds. Flip back along the boards, and it goes over the glass. Scoreless first period. 5.5 minutes into it here at the Spectrum with the series tied at 2-2. Great to have you with us.
2-pound guy. I mean, Ulanoff just stood his ground. Tampa Bay is trying to establish their hitting game just like the Flyers are, and I think they are ahead by a couple of hits so far.
Ryan Bradley came out, won a face-off right there for Tampa Bay. Kevin Haller intercepted it, and it bounces. Sean Bodine at an angle, but the puck ended up going on the bench. Let's check in with our man, John Saunders.
All right, this highlight brought to you by the new Dodge between the Panthers and the Bruins. The Bruins trying to avoid being eliminated, and Adam Oates takes the feed from Elliott and beats Beezer 1-0. The Blues in the Leafs. Shane Corson takes the feed from Wayne Gretzky. He's actually just trying to feed this one across to Fred Hall, but it goes off Matthew Schneider's stick. It's in, 1-0.
Wayne Gretzky. John, he's having a great playoff. I don't know many people who would have said Wayne Gretzky, even at this point, would be leading all playoff scorers, all assists. 9 of them so far. Shaw picks it up, knocked down. Got back around the net, full strength here, no score. Pull it off on the near side, trying to dig it out of the boards. Tampa Bay in their own zone here. Bodine and he did battle. Bodine won that one. Renfro brought the tap into the middle. Otto couldn't handle a pass. Chased down by Kevin Haller. Haller will be chased at the far end. Rob Zaminer was back there with him. Off the near side for Desjardins. Eric Desjardins moving it up. Bounced away on the far side. Brian Bradley, his centering pass knocked down again. Both these teams playing in the other's jerseys here. There's not much room to skate early on in this game. Zaminer had it taken away. Couldn't control. Bradley back.
Well, the Lightning are so good at taking away the passing lane. You can't try to pass through the Lightning. We're just examples.
Eric Lindros with a big shot on Ulanoff on the far side. I mean, he went from one side of the ice to the other to find him. And they're giving him a standing O.
You can understand the frustration of the Philadelphia crowd when they see that bullseye on Eric Lindros and other teams really go after him, and that's what Tampa's tried to do. Well, Igor is now saying to himself, you know what, I think I might get rid of this pass a little sooner next time. Oh, what a hit. And that's exactly what you want to establish by continuing the hitting game. If you can continue to hit, you can continue to get the other team anticipating the hit. They pop it up a split second early, and then you cut the pass and move in for a scoring chance.
And that's one of the two people that's after Lindros, he and Petit. Great move down the middle. Shot deflected into the corner. Dykhouse brought that in. Tried to set it up. Almost. Getting up Leclair, and he's hurt. John Leclair's heading to the bench, and he's hurt again. Leclair's already missed one game. There's Petit. Lindros got hit too. Eric Lindros has now lined up both of the players who have gone after him, and Petit is still down.
Now you think the crowd here liked the first hit. Oh man, this looks bad. And if the crowd liked the first one, they're loving this one.
There's no penalty involved here.
Now, Gary, Adam Graves has talked about Mark Messier being a double-edged sword when you go to take him out of the play. Eric Lindros is in the same category. Sooner or later, if you antagonize him, he has the ability to lay you out.
You can now ask Michel Petit about that, and he will confirm that. He is going to have to leave the ice, I think.
And Petit is the man that has been quoted widely as saying, I love hitting Eric Lindros, I love hitting John LeClair, I'm in their heads, they don't like it, I'm going to go after them again.
Michel Petit, this whole series, lined up on Lindros. Tables turn right here. Echoes of the Broad Street Bullies ruminating at the Spectrum.
This place is absolutely rocking. Here comes Michel Petit to hit Eric Lindros. I think that kind of in a concealed way, Eric got him with the stick right in the nose, but he was smart enough to know that it would be shielded from Bill McCreary, the referee, because it didn't look like Petit hit the glass. It looked like he was hurt before he hit the glass.
No penalty. Therrien shot. Bounces. One hit out in front of Rudy Postcheck. Postcheck back in and not played the last 3 games for Tampa Bay. Another one of the changes Terry Crisp made here tonight. And Toski, another one of the Flyers' tough guys, banging over there and burns Solomonov. Puck freed up behind the net to Therrien. No score unless you're counting hits. Postcheck shot, and there's a cover made. That's one of the few times. Look at this. John Cullen tried to draw a penalty. Burr just got knocked down on the ice away from all of that. And the linesmen are running all over the place trying to get in ahead of the players.
They got too many fires to put out. As they put out one, another one starts someplace else. This will most likely, after Michel Petit leaving in a pool of blood, get ugly. There's Rudy Postcheck again.
Postcheck and Toski. Bill McCreary's got at least 2.
Billy McCreary's going to have his hands full, Gary. No question about it. And he's a veteran referee and a smart referee, so you can watch for McCreary to start taking guys now for very little. I mean, he can see this thing turning into a big forest fire instead of a bunch of little fires. Ron Hextall squeezed the puck off. Sean Burr went up high with the stick on Chris Therrien. Kjell Samuelsson came in. The Flyers are trying to just take this right now because they know that with Petit headed out of the game, they maybe have the chance to have the Tampa Bay Lightning on the run. Oh, and then when Therrien got in close, he got Sean Burr back. Meanwhile, Sean and Toski were just like a shark on the outside, just cruising, looking, waiting.
And John Cullen came charging into Hextall for no apparent reason. While all that was going on, it just bumped him. Yeah, you better stay away from the boards.
The luckiest guy might be Roman Hammerlink. He's not in the building tonight, the way the Flyers are hitting people. I just checked in with the locker room, at the locker room with Tampa Bay. It looks like a broken nose on the case with Michel Petit. They've sent for a doctor down to the locker room. Meanwhile, these people here, this is better than a hat trick. 2 big hits like that, they're going to take the roof off this place before they move to the new building, guys.
You know what, Al? Even with a broken nose, Michel Petit has been such a dedicated warrior in this series, and the teams carry face mask, face shield, football-type helmets. I mean, the training staff really has to be sharp. They've got all kinds of gear to try and get a guy back in the lineup. Broken nose or not, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an appearance from Michel Petit before this baby's over.
Phil Esposito made it very clear about Darren Pupa publicly. When I played, broken arms, bad ligaments in your knee for goaltenders. How come he's not playing? Don't tell me we can't do something to get Darren Pupa back. Well, Pupa's back tonight. He's going to expect the same thing out of Michel Petit. Jammed off the near side boards. Kevin Haller drops it off. We've had just 3 shots on goal. And that tells you something about the way this first period's being played. There's another hit. Shaw went off Modine at the line. He thought there was a whistle there at an offside. There was not. Back up on the point. Haller's shot blocked out deep. Kevin Haller trying to hold it in on the near side. Did. Picked up by Shaw of Tampa Bay. Centering pass. Kyle Anderson had to come back to get it. Shaw had to bang it away. Bradley up ice trying to get it done. 2-on-1. Bradley looking. Salmon was there, but it was blocked by Desjardins. They ended up with Salmon cutting. If the pass had gone through, he was all alone.
Ron Hextall sure needed coverage away from the plate because he went after the shooter. He was 15 feet out.
What a play on the far side by Bradley down on the ice. Had he not been able to sweep that puck away, the Flyers would have had a 2-on-0. There's Brian Bradley gunning it back into the middle. Cleared back up and out of the zone. Down goes Dan Quinn, who took a hit and getting it out. We are seeing the more than bumping and grinding in this one. Cleared back in by Peter Svoboda. Balloon has it bounce off his stick, and a whistle and a glove pass. Linesman moving again to break up after the whistle stuff. Let's check in with John Saunders. John?
This New Dodge report takes us back to Maple Leaf Gardens, where things are falling apart for Toronto. Chris Pronger from outside the blue line releases this. Watch Felix Potvin. The Cat now only has 8 lives left. 2-0, the Blues on top.
You can pretty well forget about it. This was one of the great stories in the playoffs so far with Iron Man. Grant Fuhr going down. John Casey has been able to step in for the Blues. Seen 2 highlights from that game, Gary. The first one, Shane Corson's pass went in off the stick, off Matt Schneider's stick. Second one, a shot from the blue line. You think Toronto's got a chance?
No, that one's got destiny marked all over it. Ulanov takes it back in behind the net. Trying to jam it out. Lindros was there to knock it down. Lindros and Ulanov going at it again. Centering pass. Bellows has got it. Bellows coming. He's got Cross on the right with him. 3-on-1. Corey Cross can't reach it. Zammer was the trailer, but it was too far in front for him. Puck in the wrong place right there for Tampa Bay as they had a 3-on-1 break. No score midway through this first period. And it has been a physical one. The shots are even at 2 apiece. Up into the wide side corner. Hextall let it go. The goaltenders have just been out there watching here in this one. Shaw got it up. Could not control it. Dumped back into the middle. Bill Holder sends it back out. Bellows will start the other way. Blue liner fake Bellows. Kevin Haller came off the puck, but Bellows lost control of it. Now along the near side boards. Battle run up to the point. Shaw had it blocked back in behind the net. John LeClair's back out there after limping off a shift to go. A whistle coming up in front. We'll have a penalty. McCreary's got it. And Bellows has to be pulled away. He and Kevin Haller were looking at each other. It'll be another power play opportunity, I think, coming up here for the Flyers. There's a misconduct that's going along with, well, misconduct also, whatever this is. Bill McCreary will sort it out over there. Some guys coming out of the penalty box as penalties have expired. And we'll get the penalties here in a second. Want to remind you our new Dodge Intermission report coming up. The end of this period, a look at that Blues game, trying to clinch their quarterfinal round. A look back at that tremendous game last night. Penguins Caps last night and this morning. And the NBA playoff highlights all coming your way. Our new Dodge Intermission report.
Peter Klima looks like he's the guy that got the misconduct. We're down to 9:53 to go in the first period. The misconduct is 10. If you want to stay and watch the game, Peter?
Well, the first set of penalties, by the way, were matching minors. Burr and Therrien, Koscheck and Antoski, 2 on each side. Why nobody got a power play then?
Brian Bellows, 2 minutes for roughing.
Gary, we're going to show everybody some highlights from last night's super thriller, that quadruple overtime in Washington. I said to Billy McCreary, the ref, before tonight's game, I said, look, I guess everybody got those big overtimes out of their systems last night. You won't have to call overtime tonight. He said, I thought so until I talked to my wife, and she reminded me that last year in the playoffs, I did 13 games. 7 of them went into overtime. 4 of them went into double overtime. So we may not be out of the woods in those long overtime games yet.
We've had 2 enormous overtimes already, of course, with Calgary getting taken out by Chicago in a sweep that went into the triple overtime. And then the quadruple overtime last night. Klima's got the misconduct. Bellows has got the roughing at 10:07. We've got a misconduct penalty as well here on Klima. The 10-minute misconduct goes against him.
And there's only one guy in the penalty box. So,
power play opportunity.
Just this side of the net, there was a play where one of the Tampa players shot a stick. See that shot to the corner of the stick right by the net? That had to be what the call was.
Swept away the stick. Power play opportunity for the Flyers. They did not convert on their first power play chance. Balloon is out there in this unit. No score, first period. Philadelphia's got the advantage. Dykhouse will be back with Svoboda along the point to Svoboda. He takes it, hit the post! Oh, and he banged it good, too. And it came right behind Darren Poupin out. Flipped back in by Svoboda. Poupin tips it away to Bill Holder, and Holder clears. Tampa Bay's penalty-killing unit gave up only 68 power play goals during the regular season. They had the second-best road penalty-killing unit during the regular year. And offside. And Quinn may have gotten hit, too. Quinn is down. He's hanging onto his face. He was the player who went offside.
Oh, man, he got clipped with a stick, Gary. He was cutting across the blue line, and he got hit with a stick, and I'm not sure anybody saw it. I mean, anybody with stripes.
There's no penalty called on this initially. The linesman, of course, can help the referee with calls like this. Collins and Stickle are now talking with Bill McCreary. We're losing them fast here in the first period.
No kidding. No kidding.
We're only halfway through it. Michel Petit, an apparent broken nose for Tampa Bay, hit by Lindros. Now we've got Quinn bleeding from a stick he took coming into the zone. No initial call. That can be changed after this conference.
It's the time of year, folks, when those kind of things are just little flesh wounds, little nicks. They don't mean a whole heck of a lot. If you can still see and blood isn't going into your eye, you just kind of play it out. 9 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the first. Terry Murray wants his guys on the blue line in the power play just to let it rip, and that's what Peter Swoboda did. There wasn't a rebound, but there almost didn't have to be one from a Flyers standpoint. Watch this one off the post, off the near post. Ding. Even if that's a different angle, it could hit Darren Pupa and go in. But Peter Swoboda banged it off the post, and it cleared between Pupa and the net. Who's that on the side? John LeClair was parked right at the edge of the crease, too.
It's a miracle. You couldn't do that if you tried to get a puck hit there and come out the other side.
Couldn't do it. It'd take you 100 pucks. You could line them up in practice, and on the 100th, you might do it just the way you'd want to.
Penalties are going to be assessed here after the initial conference. Now there's a minute 9 remaining on the penalty that was underway to Tampa Bay. Quinn's going to stay out there on the bench, and Burr has got a double minor for high sticking.
It wasn't Burr, but it was a Tampa player, and that's why Sean Burr's a little upset. I think it was Rudy Pochek. On the far left of the screen, keep watching the far left. All right, there's Pochek, and you see the hook from behind on Dan Quinn. Looked like he got the crook of his blade of his stick around and caught him right in the nose, and that's what nicked Dan Quinn.
There's Burr in the middle of your screen.
Right, and it was a right-hand shot that got Dan Quinn. Sean Burr's a left-hand shot.
But Burr will take the double minor. Wow. What a huge opportunity coming up here for the Flyers. Let's check in with John Saunders. John?
And again, this one brought to you by the new Dodge. Some life in the Toronto Maple Leafs off the face-off. The puck will find its way back to the point. And watch Muller in front tip the shot. It goes wide, but then Gagne finds Mike Gartner, who whacks at it. He scores. It's now 2-1.
Well, that's one of those games. It's down to Toronto. Must.
By the way, there was, you know what happened? Rudy Pochek, while we were talking, went over to the penalty box and took Sean Burr out. I don't know if Rudy fessed up, went to the and said, look, it was really me. Sean Burr, remember, valuable penalty killer.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened here. Score! Power play goal! Michael Renberg has given the Flyers a 1-0 lead.
Goal number 1 of the playoffs for Michael Renberg. Goal number 1 for the Flyers in this game. Simple little wrist shot, labeled for the 5-hole. If it's dead center of the 5-hole, you got a chance. Did he try to pass this? I think he fanned on the pass to Eric Lindros and said, man, well, I still got it. I might as well let it rip. A very good thing happened to him. Darren Pupa handcuffed through the 5-hole. The Flyers lead by 1.
Now that's a 2-man advantage for Philadelphia when that goal was scored. And now there's still 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the double minor. So Philadelphia continues on this power play for a long time. They've got the 1-0 lead. They have the potential here to score 3 power play goals. 1 with a 2-man and 2 with a 1-man advantage. Backed out of the zone on the near side by Mikhail Anderson. Eric Lindros has come up to work on this power play unit. Desjardins gets swept around. Mikhail Anderson took it away. He'll flip it in. Ron Hextall coming out to get it. Only 2 shots on goal for Tampa Bay. The Flyers have only 4. The Flyers have the 1-0 lead. Hextall holds it up at the other end. Peter Swoboda back. Flyers will change up in their power play unit. Brendamore comes out there now. Falloon will join him along with Quinn right back out of the ice after getting that cut. Dan Quinn into the zone. Falloon got knocked down, flipped hard out of the zone by John Tucker. The goal by Renberg from Desjardins on the power play, his first of this playoff year, 7th in his career, came at 11:13 to give Philadelphia the lead. Jammed up past Ulanoff. Swoboda held that one in. They'll set up Rendemore in front. Quinn centered him. Just deflected off Darren Pupa's stick. Zaminer comes the other way short-handed with Tucker. Sends it in. They'll change. Tampa Bay making quick changes here. The penalty unit player is going to get a lot of work in this part of the game. Quinn tipped it in. Pupa just leaves it for Shaw. Shaw looking for a little room, found it, and sent it out. Minute 55 left in the double minor. Chas came back to Gavey, deflected off the D in behind the net. Opportunity for Aaron Gavey, the rookie on the penalty killer. Gavey back again, got it and sends it in.
Can he skate? A lot to learn for Aaron Gavey, but he's got one thing that's ready to roll in the NHL. Can he ever skate?
Great set of wheels, 22 years old, his rookie year. Intercepted, cleared out by Burr. There you see Burr coming out, why they didn't want him serving that penalty. Cleared back around near side. Leclerc able to hold it in. Lindros got a man open in front, couldn't get it there. Mikhail Anderson clears. Hextall will hold it up far in. First period, Philadelphia leading it 1-0. A double minor, giving Philadelphia this extended power play with 1:10 left on it. Pupa could not shut that one down. Lindros came in, was able to kick it away. Lindros working the near side. Leclerc's out there with him. Carrion at the point. Carrion's pass knocked down. Sent out again. Good play by Anderson. Carrion back. Philadelphia clears. Makes the move around Zaminer. On the far side. They come back up top. Desjardins. Desjardins was open. Zaminer tied him up. Took it away short-handed. 2-on-1 chance the other way. Tucker, Zaminer. Tucker shot. Saved by Hextall. Came up, cut the angle down. Short-handed 2-on-1 opportunity. Leclerc the other way. Leclerc moves it in. Power play still has 30 seconds left on it. Leclerc, Lindros past Brendamore. Didn't catch the bouncing puck. And it's cleared out of the zone by Cross.
23 seconds now before Tampa's back at even strength. Boy, this would be huge for them. Remember, this is a team that bends quite a bit. They very seldom break. They do not quit. They'll just keep coming at you.
2-on-2 short-handed for Bill Holder, and offside is Burr. Still time for the power play. 10 seconds. John Saunders.
All right, again, the new Dodge takes you out to Maple Leaf Gardens. That's Doug Gilmour, centers the puck. It actually goes off Matt Sundin's skate. Pronger trying to keep it out, but it gets past Casey, but they give the go to Gilmour.
Well, John, there you see what's at stake tonight with St. Louis leading 3-1. Chicago's already won their series, sweeping Calgary. The surprise there is Colorado-Vancouver knotted at 2-2.
You want to get a team to come back, just announce that you should stick a fork in them because they're done.
Then the series will continue for 7.
Absolutely.
Power play for Philadelphia winding down. Kjell Samuelsson back out. Tipped away in center. Bellows picks it up. Power play's over. Good job by Tampa Bay. They gave up the one power play goal to Renberg when they were down shorthanded by 2. Kjell Samuelsson at the red, sends it back in. Chris Stratton took a run at him, bounces off the back of the net on Pupa. Didn't bounce off, it stayed there. Well, this one as physical as we thought it would be. The Flyers have the lead here in the first period over Tampa Bay, 1-0. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN and on the Deuce, continuing all the way through the finals. Ron Hextall. He's had little to do here in the first period except watch. Shaw drops it back. Bill Holder starts it up. Tampa Bay back at full strength. They're back in the middle. Bratton the shot. Save! Hextall, they got busy there. Cleared up and out of the zone. Had to come across to the left leg on that one. Shaw sends that one around. Game 5. Philadelphia scored the first goal in 4 of the 5 games. They've led through most of it. Tampa Bay has had a lead for 7 minutes, 38 seconds in the playoffs so far, and they haven't got one here. Our Bud Ice Stanley Cup summary. Capitals and Penguins with the 3rd longest game in NHL history. They got through at 2:30. Penguins won it and tied it up. Road teams have won 17 of 31 in this first round, and the Blackhawks are waiting for round 2.
Nice little rest for the Blackhawks. Ron Hextall had been resting until this save that he had to make on Rob Zaminer. Toe save. Ron Hextall at 6'3". He's got great leg extension. Hard to beat him on the long side like that.
Hextall 6-1-1 against Tampa Bay in his career in regular season games. He has done a number on Tampa Bay. His goals against them is 1.9. That's during regular season games. Tampa Bay's young history. Gratton knocked it away. Bellows, Gratton, good job to hold that one in. Cross dumps it back in behind the net. Mason Weaver back there. The youngster got pinned up. Weaver just 20 years old. 3:57 left here in the first period. Sean Bodine ran it in. Darren Cooper back up to the point. Chased down by Joel Otto. Otto's got to wait for his line mates to clear. Sends it around near side. Bodine again over to get it. Bodine out is partially blocked by Koscheck. Cleared back up on the far side. Selivanov, a dangerous man with the puck. Selivanov trying to move in. Kevin Haller tied him up. Tampa Bay down by 1 here with 3:30 left in the first. John Cullen sends it back. Selivanov and Kevin Haller. Selivanov still has it. Leaves it. Desjardins over. Hit by Cullen. Got it up the far side towards Dale Hawerchuk. Hawerchuk starts it out. 3 goals, 3 assists for Hawerchuk here in the playoffs. One of the reasons Philadelphia picked him up during the season to add some scoring punch, and he has done that. Cullen dropped it in the middle and knocked down. Good check put on by Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour, Selivanov cutting. Brind'Amour just took him out of the play. Batted out of the air. Selivanov outside. Selivanov! Save Hextall! Rebound took away. A penalty coming up. Selivanov got slashed and he's down.
Well, this thing went from great to scary for the Philadelphia Flyers. Rod Brind'Amour, terrific defensive play. Is he strong? Knocked down Selivanov. And then they came up the other way, the Flyers, but sloppy passing in the neutral zone. Tampa Bay had 4 players back. The Flyers just tried kind of a desperation Hail Mary past Selivanov on the attempt. Rod Brind'Amour had to catch him again, but this time Rod Brind'Amour had to take him down with a slash. Brind'Amour got caught flat-footed as well because of the bad pass off ice.
17:08, time of the call.
Tampa, when they can play their game, here's how you tell when Tampa Bay Lightning can play their game at even strength. They really clog up the neutral zone. They're not a typical true trap team, but they've always got traffic in there to make it tough for you to get through the neutral zone.
Here's Tampa Bay's opportunity on the power play. Icing call, though, against them. Their first power play chance in this game. I want to remind you on ESPN and the Deuce, our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs will continue. We will have the Canadiens and Rangers back at Madison Square Garden, 7:30 tomorrow night. Jocelyn Thibault, Mark Messier, Mike Richter. Assorted crews will be there. And then on the Deuce, same time, Washington and Pittsburgh. Those guys will just be getting out of bed to get ready for that game. Tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern after their quadruple overtime to get done at 2:30 this morning. So 2 games for you, one on ESPN and one on the Deuce. Back onto the point. Shot Kevin Haller deflected wide off Darren Cooper. They're back in around the net. Philadelphia getting a couple of chances shorthanded. These shots are even at 4-4. Flyers have the 1-0 lead. It's a power play here for Tampa Bay. Both these teams had good special units during the regular season. Sent back in wide by Bellows. Tampa Bay's power play 4th best. Philadelphia's 2nd best penalty killing unit. Sean Bodine, shorthanded, still has a shot just wide in the short side off the end of the glove. Bobby Corkum sends it back around the boards. Philadelphia changing up in their penalty killing unit. Selivanov knocked it away. Could not get it away from Trent Platt, who got tripped. Fans wanted to call, won't get it. Good hustle by Platt, who just came out. Bill Holder with the puck. Power play time running down here. 50 seconds on it. Hextall loves to play the puck, does. Got it out to Platt. Platt turns, got around Shaw. Ulanov's in front of him. Shot deflected by Ulanov. John Cullen, nice strip of the puck. Here's a 3-on-2 chance on the power play. Back in the middle of Cullen. Over to Selivanov. Shot deflected right in the slot. They go back up onto the point to set it up. Shaw. His shot saved by Hextall. Big kick out and cleared. Ulanov back to pick it up. Power play has only 20 seconds left on it. Tampa Bay here in the playoffs against Philadelphia. 3 for 22 on the power play. Hextall back to get it. Left it back in behind the net. One more clear. The Flyers get that one into over their own bench. The penalty is over. We're in the final minute here. John Saunders.
Toronto Maple Leafs still trying to stay alive. This brought to you by the new Dodge. And watch Todd Warner. The feed from Ty Domi. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3. How about a 4th one? And he pokes this one in. 3-2 Leafs.
Oh, they're back. They're back in this game. I'm not trying to bail out on that, but I think in the series I was talking about, this game, I don't care what happens in this game. I mean, Toronto would have to have something drastic happen. From Terry Chris' standpoint, nothing drastic has to happen. He said, look, I have no magic wand. I wish I could walk into my locker room and find Mario Lemieux sitting there, but that's not going to happen. We have to come in and prepare to leave here black and blue, grind it out. I know what it's like playing in this building. Same game plan for Tampa Bay.
Ironic, Crispy, of course, winner of the Stanley Cup twice, playing here in Philadelphia. One of just 13 former players who's won a cup as a player and as a head coach. Terry Crisp, very familiar with the kind of banging going on we've seen in this first period. Michel Petit went out after being hit earlier in the period by Eric Lindros. We think it's a broken nose. Al Morganti checked downstairs. The doctor had been called. He has not returned here in the first period. Desjardins back in behind the net. They'll start it up off the near side. A couple of forecheckers have moved in. Leclerc just swept that one out. 23 seconds left to go in the period. We'll update you on everything that's going on in the other games in the playoffs. Al Morganti just called up to us to say nose not broken. And Petit will be back. Played back around the boards by Peter Svoboda. The flip out along the blue line. Knocked down. Tucker there. Tucker to Burr. Burr takes the shot on the far side. Guess who? Eric Lindros. He's had 3 big shots against Tampa Bay players. Burr the third.
Any doubt who the leader of this team is?
A 1-0 lead. Renberg, the power play goal at 11:13 for Desjardins is the one that's up on the board. John Anberry.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. The Flyers up 1-0. And Eric Lindros, they talked about his leadership, the way he tosses his weight around. You have to love this guy. But the Flyers perhaps a little fortunate because his stick was definitely up on Petit.
They're very lucky. And I love tough guys. I love fighters. I love guys that play with courage. Eric Lindros certainly is one of those guys. But he could easily have been a 5-minute major on Petit, broke his nose, blood everywhere. And then to come back and get a double minor against Pochek and control the game is a tough call.
Yeah, 1-0. The Flyers have the lead in this one as they look to take the lead in this series. And welcome to the new Dodge Intermission Report. Stick around between periods. We'll have scores and highlights of the other game. The Blues trying to wrap up things in Toronto. The Panthers trying to do it likewise in Boston. Back in a moment.
First intermission report is presented by the new Dodge. We're thinking ahead.
And welcome back to the new Dodge Intermission Report. John Saunders alongside Barry Melrose. 1-0. The Philadelphia Flyers have the lead over Tampa Bay with the second period still to come. Let's check the scores and highlights elsewhere. We'll start off with the Toronto Maple Leafs trying to stave off elimination. They're at home on Carlton Street tonight at Maple Leaf Gardens. St. Louis trying to wrap things up. Felix Potvin trying to keep the Leafs in it. Craig McTavish goes in. Just kind of loses the handle on this one, and Potvin is there equal to the task. But then Shane Corson just trying to feed the puck across to Brad Hall. Matthew Schneider tips it past his own goaltender. 1-0 St. Louis with the lead. Then Chris Pronger from outside the blue line with a blast. And Potvin looks bad on that one, so it looks like it's over for the Leafs. But then Mike Gartner takes the feed from Gagne in front. Whiffs the first time, but puts the second one in, 2-1, and then Warner with some great work.
Killer goal because of the effort, Warner. He outworked the St. Louis defense down low. He goes to net 1 whack, 2 whacks, 3 whacks, and he gets it from behind the net. Nobody knocks him down. He walks out in front. Killer goal because he works so hard, and that embarrasses your team down low.
A couple of guys in the crease, but no call on the play. So the Leafs right now have a 3-2 lead after being down 2-0 in this one. Now, Wayne Gretzky has an assist tonight. He's got 9 assists right now in the 5 games. He's the leading playoff scorer, and they're learning how to play with Mr. Gretzky.
He's the leading playoff scorer again, and you're going to see why, John. The people are learning to play with him. He does this better than anyone else. He draws someone to him. Hull jumps out in the slot. He finds an open area, a dead area. Corson goes to the front of the net in case there's a rebound. Doesn't work this time. You see Hull shoots wide. So what happens? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Comes back to Gretzky where he always is on his forehand side and the far side, draws the man to him. Hull jumps the slot again. Gretz draws a man to him. Hull's got a man on him in the slot. Corson can go to the front of the net for the rebound again. Toronto almost makes a blunder here because no one takes a body on Hull. Corson almost gets a rebound. Toronto goes right down after this and scores, John. But you can see St. Louis becoming more and more comfortable with Wayne Gretzky.
Plus 3 guys going to Mr. Brett Hull makes things a little difficult on the Leafs right now. So let's continue. The Panthers. Florida, a team that's in the playoffs for the first time ever, and they have a chance to wrap things up tonight with a sweep against the Boston Bruins. They beat them there last night, and here Adam Oates gets the Bruins on the board as he knocks off Van Beesbrook. It's 1-0, but Ranford's played better tonight.
And that's why they're winning this game. Ranford is a key. He made key saves at key times. He hasn't been doing that in the 2 games he's played prior to this, John.
All right, so they're trying to hold off their elimination, are the Boston Bruins. Is at the end of 1 period in play, 1-0 Boston with the lead. We, of course, will keep you up to date. Now, Dino Ciccarelli of the Detroit Red Wings broke his nose in practice today. It's the 6th or 7th time that it's happened. They say Dino will not miss any action. He will be in uniform tomorrow as they try and wrap things up against the Winnipeg Jets. So stick around. We have more to come here on the New Dodge Intermission Report. When we come back, we'll take a look back at that outstanding game from last night, the one that went into the 4th overtime before Peter Nedved had the decision.
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice cold Miller Lite, life is good. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by the new Dodge, we're thinking ahead. Welcome back, everybody, to Philadelphia as the Flyers, with a power play goal and a 2-man advantage, have the 1-0 lead in the series that's tied at 2-2. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and El Morganti back with you here. But listen, even though the Flyers are up, Tampa Bay has got this game still very much within reach and played a pretty strong period. 4 Flyers shots. That's all they got.
Yeah, Gary, Tampa Bay is really playing their game. And not only that, the Flyers are having a terrible time breaking out of their zone. How many of their passes hit skates? How many turnovers did they commit in their own zone? Tampa Bay is alive and well. They had 3 odd-man rushes to the Flyers, 1 in that period.
Eric Lindros had been hit in this series. Tonight,
well, the names are the same. The results are different. We go back to 5 nights ago. Game 2 here at the Spectrum. Eric Lindros whacked by Igor Ulanov. Hurt his knee on the play. Later in that game, Sean Burr drilled him into the boards. And the man that has hit him most often, Michel Petit. They all had a run at Eric Lindros in Game 2. Tonight, the names are the same. Results different. That is Ulanov going down after Eric Lindros plastered him. Michel Petit left the game. He should be back with the bad nose. Sean Burr was the last guy to beat Eric Lindros. So, names the same, different result.
a very, very physical first 10 minutes of this game, and Eric Lindros the reason why. 4 very solid shots in that first period after the people who had gone after him. And a 1-0 Flyers lead on the goal by Renberg from Desjardins at 11:13 on the power play. We mentioned in the first period how in this series the Flyers, a devastating advantage as far as having the lead during the games. Only 7 minutes 38 seconds worth of lead time for the Lightning, and Philadelphia's piled up more of that with a 1-0 lead here. We are underway. Face-off back to center. Jumped in on the wide side. Leclerc shoots it in wide on Darren Pupa. Back up, Lindros put the hit on Ulanov again. Therrien will chase this one down on the touch. Shots were 6-4 in the first period in favor of Tampa Bay.
You know, Gary, that number that we put up, the graphic about how much time the Flyers have led in this series compared to Igor Ulanov and the rest of the Tampa Bay Lightning, that will tell you that this young team, and they are especially young when it comes to playoff and big game experience, 10 of these guys before the stretch drive had no big game experience. That tells you how they bend but do not break. All of that time, and we are still deadlocked 2 games apiece in this series.
Tampa Bay finishing 8th in the Eastern Conference, of course, against #1 Philadelphia. Save made Darren Pupa. Rebound. Pupa makes a second save. Shot ran in by Dale Hawerchuk in the opportunity. Back to Leclerc. Lindros, Hawerchuk, and Leclerc out there. Near side to Jason Wiemer. Wiemer comes 3-on-3. Cleared in. Chris Gratton. Bounce to the wide side. Banged off the side of the net over there. No chance for Gratton. tried to find an angle. Chris Gratton behind the net. Tried to come in front and to drop it off. Bellows tied up. Lindros there. Puck against the net, and that'll get the whistle. Let's check in with Elmore again. Yell.
Well, thanks, Gary. That first period hit in which Eric Lindros hammered Michel Petit, that could end up being a video replay for Brian Burke, the guy who meets out discipline for the National Hockey League. I heard Phil Esposito talking about maybe sending that tape to the league. They feel that Lindros got his stick up high. Esposito, the general manager, was all over the officials, going into the officials' room between periods there. In the meantime, Lindros, I think he actually put notches on his stick. Everybody he wanted to get in that first period, he sure got, ending it with Burr. He got Petit, he got Ulanov. Now I guess the notches will be for goals and assists, guys.
You know, the way he goes tonight here, he may have nothing left of the stick if he notches that one up. Burr moves in to take the face-off on the draw against Rod Brendamore. Brendamore won it, cleared around to the near side. Pat Falloon dumped back into the middle. Brendamore heads to the net. Quinn the pass, shot, what a save! Darren Popa in a perfect 2-on-1 tic-tac comes up with a huge save.
Yeah, it had to be a perfect save because the Flyers executed that perfectly. A series of headman passes as they move to the neutral zone. Falloon first to Rod Brindamore, ahead to Dan Quinn. That's the way you dance through the neutral zone, staggered like that instead of straight across. And Darren Cooper right into the glove. Look at this pass though on the backhand by Dan Quinn. A nice little elevator pass, flat. It landed perfectly for Rod Brindamore, and all he could do was go, I don't believe it.
Brindamore has got a goal and an assist thus far in this series against Tampa Bay. Off the face-off behind the net, played by Shaw. Anderson couldn't get it out. Bankhouse shot deflected down low. Brindamore set up in front. Wraparound chance. Quinn knocked away Krupa. Krupa couldn't control it though. Again loose in front. Krupa tips that one away as Brindamore was looking for the rebound. And it's cleared out. Lightning just needed to get one out of the zone. Vita Svoboda back near side Falloon. Falloon the flip in the middle. Quinn again. Quinn to Otto. Otto couldn't reach that one. Shaw will get it. Philadelphia completing the line change behind the play. Kyle Anderson over to Zaminer. Rod Zaminer. Gloved down by Ron Hextall. Played around the net near side for Falloon. Falloon gets hit by Weimer. Weimer knocked the puck away to Anderson, but it's banged out of the zone. Ulanov couldn't hold it. Sean Podine. Shaw with him. Podine scores!
So the Flyers strike first again in the second period. Watch the play at the blue line. This is just a clear by the Flyers. Right here, a clearing attempt. Igor Ulanov went for it with the skate and deflected it to Sean Podine, who had an entirely full head of steam going. David Shaw tried on the back check to get him. But Podine is one of those third-line players that has absolutely come alive for the Flyers. He was huge for the Flyers down the stretch and continues to be a key for them in the playoffs.
Whistle on the icing call. 2-0 lead for the Flyers. Podine's first of the playoff series. John Saunders.
Well, the new Dodge takes us up to the Fleet Center where the Boston Bruins are not going down without a fight. Look at the Panthers, 4th below the hash marks. And so John Roloff has a field day out there and finds the net. And then Alec finds Rick Tocchet. One shot, gets his own rebound, and between the legs. And right now the Bruins in command, 3-1.
Boston trying to keep that series alive. Really been jumped on by the other Florida team. Here, Chris Gratton steps up in the corner. Banged away along the near side boards and out of the zone. Desjardins got it out. Philadelphia 4 shots in the first period. First 2 minutes of this period, they've already had 4 shots. Bodine's goal unassisted came at 150 and even strength, the second of his playoff career and the first this year. Ulanov shot it ahead. Scoring line out there for the Bolts right now. The attempted send-in, though, ends up going over the glass, and Bellows tried to dump that in.
When you get to this stage of the hockey season, you need production from everybody, including your first, your second line, and if you get production like this from the Flyers' third line the way they have, you should be in business. Sean Podine with a goal and 2. Joel Otto got 3 and 2. I think Darren Krupa overplayed this. Anytime you can chip it back to the long side the way Sean Podine did right here, Usually, well, it's hard to say. I mean, originally I thought Darren Poop overplayed it. Perhaps we should just give more credit to Sean Podine because that little chip shot went just inside the post. I think Pooper was guessing that he was going to pull it all the way to the forehand and try to beat him somewhere upstairs, but that was just a good play by Podine.
Eric Lindros comes back out. Face-off, though, won by Aaron Gavey, the rookie. Sent back down the middle. Dykhouse is there to intercept. Here's Eric Lindros, poked away from him. Peter Klima out there defensively on the poke check. Dykhouse brings it back in. Cross knocked him down, hits him, jammed him up against the boards. Gavey cleared it around. Tucker just guns it out of there. There'll be no icing on this. It'll be chased down to the Flyers. Dale Howard behind his own net. Tampa Bay trying to increase the checking pressure here to create a couple of turnovers. Holder was over there with Lindros. Back into the middle as they got onside. Olanoff dropped it, couldn't do anything with it. Klima could not handle that cleanly, and that created the offside. The Flyers with the series even 2-2.
Flyers with a 2-0 lead here in front of the home crowd. Continue to dish the body checks out. Have to do that. I mean, one of the problems when you open up a lead, if it gets too big, you kind of stray from the game plan. The Flyers know what can happen. In Game 1, they won too easy against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They lost their edge and went down in Game 2. They don't want that to happen now.
That was the first win Tampa Bay has ever had here at the Spectrum in their young franchise history. Cullen shot, deflected, turn, save made. Good play on Burrs. Turnaround shot. Hextall got it. Coming into the playoffs, Tampa Bay had lost 6 and tied 3 here. They've got one win now, and that was in Game 2 here at the Spectrum. Well, coming up on ESPN and on the Deuce on Saturday at 7:30, we will televise Game 6 of this series, 28,000. We're at the Thunderdome in Tampa for Game 4, 7:30 Saturday. Also, if Toronto wins tonight versus St. Louis, ESPN will attempt to bring you coverage of Game 6 of that series at 7:30 in St. Louis, and then air Game 6 of the Colorado-Vancouver series. If Toronto gets ousted tonight, the Deuce will cover the Avalanche and the Canucks at 10:30 Eastern Time, depending on the outcome. Inside shot, just deflected wide. Good opportunity for Brian Bradley. The intercepted Hextall came out and got it. This will be chased down at the far end and an icing call. Brian Bradley's had a couple of chances in this game for Tampa Bay. So they're still down 2-0.
You know that the key players for Tampa have to be offensive, have to score in this series for Tampa to stay alive. We just saw Bradley. There's one, Brian Bellows. He knows about long shots making it to the finals. He has told all of his guys that he remembers 1991 when he played for Minnesota and they got to the finals as a team that finished 12 games under 500. Tampa Bay finished 6 games over 500. In 92, Chicago made it to the finals, 7 games over 500. Oh, there's Michel Petit making it back without a face shield.
El Morganti's been downstairs with him, El.
Gary, the nose was not broken. What was happening, he was so woozy from the hit that they wanted to make sure he was okay to come back, and he got the greeting by the crowd. I guess he knows where he is now, guys.
So we'll watch for Petit to go out there and take a shift. There's Bradley being pushed away by Desjardins. On the near side boards, Ulanoff trying to hold it in. Cross stepped up and did. Anderson dumped it back. Bradley centering pass comes to Zamaner. His backhander tipped by Mikhail Anderson, but not on net. Ulanoff. Corey Cross. Hextall goes back, just holds that one out. Desjardins came back to get it. And that one is going to be an icing call. Touch by Tampa Bay. Cross back to get it. 2-0. Flyers lead our Miller League leaderboard. The career points without a cup. That's a Stanley Cup. Marcel Dion playing in over 1,700 games, and Dale Howard out there for the Flyers. Over 1,300, 1,375 career points, but no Stanley Cup. He's got a chance this year.
No question about it. For the Flyers, what they have to do is kind of right themselves now, Gary. They're like a ship that keeps sort of swaying back and forth, back and forth. I mean, they really had it going down the stretch. Of all the teams in the Eastern Conference, they finished first in the conference, really had it straightened out, were very consistent. Playoffs began. Cook. They became an inconsistent team again.
Well, Howard-Chuck 9th all-time in points in the National Hockey League. One of the reasons the Flyers were very happy to find him available and making the acquisition. Lindros, Leclerc, Howard-Chuck are out there. Darren Cooper cleared it off the boards, deflected in the middle. Grattan went by, couldn't get a stick on it to control it though. Off the near side holder, chipped it back into the middle. Right now, Tampa Bay trying to find a way to get one by Hextall. They've had a couple of chances, but not real good ones. Last one gunned in by Bellows, an easy save. Howard-Chuck again, deflects again out through center. Jason Weimer trying to turn that one into the middle, had it blocked. A back-checking job that time by Howard-Chuck. Shaw will take it back in his own end. Grattan over there, around the boards for a holder. Lindros tried to put the run on Grattan that time. They're back out. 2-0 lead. Flyers on top. 5.5 minutes into the second period. Tampa Bay with 9 shots on goal. The Flyers have picked up 8. Philadelphia's got a big 2-0 lead. Peter Klemer and Leclerc talking to one another. Klemer hacks Leclerc.
Actually, Michel Petit.
Michel Petit is back. He came up for a shift here. Great save by Hextall on Selivanov. He had to come the other way to get it. Now Hextall doesn't like a little tap he takes behind the net. Now they separate. Let's check in with John Saunders.
All right, this double highlight brought to you by the new Dodge. Glenn Anderson used to play there for the Toronto Maple Leafs for a little while, and he fires this one at the goal, and it's redirected by another former Leaf, Peter Zezel, right between the legs of Potvin. ties the game at 3 apiece. Meanwhile, the Boston Bruins look like they're going to be headed to a game number 5. Ted Donato does most of the work on this one from behind the net, out in front to Cam Stewart, and he knocks it in. And right now, the Bruins are up 4-1.
Good lead for the Bruins. They haven't had much to cheer about in the series so far.
Right here, as soon as Michel Petit came back, it started to get snarly here again. Eric Lindros with a hit on Chris Grattan, finishing the check. And we talked about John Leclerc taking some of the heat off of Eric Lindros, getting into the physical stuff. That is John Leclerc and Michel Petit, and Petit was showing no fear. He went right at him. Caught him in the face with his stick, too. No call.
Petit could easily have picked up at least a double minor on that one.
You got to respect his gut level, I'll tell you that much. He comes back after getting his nose just about cut off his face and is right into it with John Leclerc.
Here's Burr picking up the face-off, won by Cullen. Back for Cullen. Terrian's got him tied up. Burr moves in, centering pass deflects in on Hextall as Samuelson was down on the ice, went off his body. Hextall covers it up.
Yeah, John Cullen is really mixing it up for Tampa Bay. You talk about playing hurt. Didn't play the last game with a hyperextended elbow, and word is, as well as we can confirm, John Cullen had a shot up so he could play in this tilt, and he's got a hyperextended right arm. It has not stopped him from playing his normal game. He is smaller than just about everybody on the ice, but that won't stop him. I mean, he is way smaller than Terrian. Terrian is 6'5", 230. John Cullen's just a pipsqueak, no problem. Come off the boards, why Iota?
John Cullen, one of the veterans for Tampa Bay as far as the playoffs are concerned. They don't have a lot of those. He's playing his 51st career playoff game. Sent back in around the boards. Terrian put the hit on. Selivanov came back to get it. He gets leveled. Stood up by Podine. They're still there behind the net. Now separate. Coming the other way, Brendamore. Brendamore moving it in onside. Centering pass tipped wide of the net. Good setup right there down low. With Joel Otto cutting. He got a stick on it, but he had a man on it. Ulanoff back through center. Flyers, Samuelson. Gun back into the zone. And Toski was going to give chase. Flyers want to change. And Lindros will head off the ice. Both teams changing on the fly.
The big hits that we've been able to replay have been the hits by Eric Lindros in this hockey game. The Tampa Bay Lightning continue to just get the hitting game going. Schomburg, Selivanov just squeeze Samuelson out of the play. It's easier to stick to your game plan on the road. At home, the crowd can get you into it emotionally to a degree where you kind of stray from your game plan. On the road, you expect to be booed. Nobody's going to boo you on your power play if you're not shooting. It's easier to stick to your game plan. Tampa's trying to settle this thing down and keep the hitting game going.
Want to get back on side here. Flyers do. Corkum sends it in. Ulanoff over to get it. And Toski went after him. Ulanoff after he dumped that off. Shaw, the 360 spin to get it in the middle of Bradley. And a penalty coming on Philadelphia. Back checking right there. Bobby Corkum will be called. Power play for Tampa Bay.
So Corkum goes off. Tampa will get a chance on the power play. Some of the hitting that we talked about. Sean Burr trying to lead the way.
Not a lot of shots here. 10-8 in favor of Tampa Bay, and they'll get a power play. Corkum at 7:29 on the hold. Second power play opportunity for Tampa Bay. They are trailing 2-0. Centered Bellows shot. Great save by Hextall. Perfect centering pass out in front. Hextall gets backed up, tipped away. Jason Weimer. That's two chances for Weimer on the power play. Knocked down on the far side. Klima trying to dump it in. Brendan Moore got leveled over there. Now Lindros runs into Swoboda. He goes down.
The hardest Eric Lindros has been hit in this game. Peter Swoboda, he collided. The Flyers got real crazy running around in that kill and just about paid for it. Terrific execution by Tampa, just about caught it.
Hextall trying to gun that one out. Knocked down on the far side. Power play here. Chance. Hextall knocks it down once, twice on Bellows. Bellows is on rebound centered. Hextall again. Jam bounces up and he hangs on. And it sticks her up.
And Brian Bradley's in the middle of part of this. Weimer, number 24. And Flyers Peter Swoboda trying to do some protecting of Ron Hextall. But a couple of saves by Ron Hextall that were huge. Not only the save, Gary, but at one point there was a rebound that he was about to lead. He whacked it out of midair with his stick away from Brian Bellows. Otherwise, he had a major problem in front of him. Ron Hextall has been good in this series. If the Flyers want to advance in the playoffs, Ron Hextall is going to have to get better. Not been bad in this series, but he's going to have to play better than he's played for the Flyers to continue to move forward in the playoffs. Here's his first save. Ooh, where is it? Out in front. Here's Weimer with a spin-around shot. The bouncing puck finally squeezed it off.
Bradley had gone in looking for a rebound, nowhere to go, and Joel Ottoman, Sean Podine made sure. Peter Swoboda, roughing call at 8:18, and the Tampa Bay Lightning were down 2-0. Opportunity to do some damage. They will get their first two-man advantage of the game here. Two-man advantage for 23 seconds. That's what's left on the first penalty. Minute 11, sorry. Kind of tough to read the clock. Yes, indeed, it is a minute 11. So a big two-man advantage here. Chris Gratton moves in to take the face-off. Hextall comes to his right. To Cullen. Cullen back up to Peter Klima. Cullen. A two-man advantage. Tampa Bay. Philadelphia got their first goal on a two-man advantage. Cullen looking shot. Save Hextall. Cullen tipped. Shot deflected. Did not end up on net. And cleared out of the zone by Otto.
Flyers going with two forwards and one defenseman. They've got mobility out there. Now Podine comes out. They're still going with two forwards and one D-man.
Peter Klima moves it in. Paul Eisenbach not playing in this game. Intercepted Brendan Moore. Picked up Holder. Eisenbach's not playing because the decision Terry Chris made was, oh, what a pick. Brendan Moore got leveled. Back over to Klima. His shot wide. They wanted Klima for the power play, so Eisenbach got scratched. Banged wide of the net near side. Just a big chop by Gratton. Knocked down Holder. Brendan Moore trying to run it out, and it came outside the zone. Offside.
John Cullen is arguing it, but from here it looked like it was out. John Cullen stopped arguing very quickly. You know, Tampa doesn't break that up. The Flyers have a breakaway going the other way. Two-man disadvantage.
Kevin, right on the line, Kevin Collins, who made the call. All you got to have is the daylight if it comes outside that line, and it did. Face-off will come outside the line, too. Big point in the game now for these two teams, especially Tampa Bay, a chance to get back in it with that two-man advantage. All right, Lindros comes out on the penalty-killing unit with Otto and Shell Samuelson. Bradley and Otto on the face-off. One back to Samuelson. Big win for Otto. Tampa Bay trying to put the heat on here in this second period to get back into it, down 2-0. 10:40 to go in the second. Series is tied at 2-2. Moved up. Lindros there. Backhanded it out of the zone. Now a 5-on-4 power play. First penalties expired. Philadelphia changing up on their penalty killers. Tampa Bay still on the power play. Weaver drops it. Near side, Bellows kicked it against the boards. Klima helped out. Tampa Bay's got 4 players over here, and one of them's down on the ice. I think got hit with a puck. A Tampa Bay player down. Ryan Bellows on the near side. Looks like he got hit with a stick the way he's hollering. There's no call. He's cut. But there were lots of folks, including some of his own teammates, in that big scrum along the boards.
What a bloodbath. That's a little too close for comfort. Brian Bellows got a nick on the eyelid, it looks like. There's Michel Petit saying, hey, listen, I bled already in this hockey game. No penalty called. How about one now? And the Flyers have just come off a 2-man disadvantage. Oh, you know what? The Flyers are going to dig a huge hole here because Chris Therrien's arguing with Bill McCreary. That does not look good from a Flyers standpoint. Yep, high sticking is going to be called against Chris Therrien.
Therrien goes to the penalty box after the officials again discuss the incident.
Left of the screen. There's Brian Bellows in the background on the boards.
Chris Therrien, double minor, 4 minutes for high sticking.
Oh, there it is. Oh, gosh, that was Bobby Corkum. It was Bob Corkum was there. So, again, a mistaken identity, but it's the same effect. I mean, you got a guy in the penalty box.
Therrien wasn't even close.
Therrien came in after the fact.
It's a double minor, so a 4-minute power play here for Tampa Bay. They still have time remaining on the original penalty. 5 seconds, I think, 17 seconds left on it. So, they'll chat about this. El Morganti's downstairs. Let's check in with him, El.
Well, Gary and Bill, this is why it's so hard to win that Stanley Cup. It's 8 weeks of just attrition, injury after injury. Brian Bellows just goes off, bleeding from the face. Meanwhile, in the Flyers locker room, a possible broken thumb. Kevin Holler's right thumb. Of course, the thumb, maybe they can take off. They're not sure. But it just goes on and on. The injury list, the parade to the locker room. That's why 8 weeks later, who's left standing? There's the people that win.
Yeah, it's just to see who can last the longest. The battle of attrition. Now, from a Flyers standpoint, a major problem. Al just mentioned Holler in the locker room. There is Chris Therrien, a defenseman who kills penalties. The man with his head down, Peter Svoboda, another defenseman that kills penalties. They got 3 defensemen the Flyers do to kill this 4-minute penalty, and the rest of the other penalty to Peter Svoboda, which is 17 seconds remaining in that one.
Therrien, the double minor for high sticking, coming at 10:01. A 5-on-3 power play again for Tampa Bay with 17 seconds left on the first penalty. And the time begins clicking on all of them. Cullen's got it. Cullen moves it in. Cullen drops it back in the middle. Bratton shot deflected high. Cullen banged at it. Couldn't get a stick on it. Joe Otto drops it into the middle. Sean Podine. Short-handed Flyers. Short-handed by 2. Bill Holder gets a piece of him, runs him off, and picks up the puck. Now the first penalty's over. Now it's a 5-on-4 power play, but a long one here for Tampa Bay. Back up to the point, Peter Klima. Klima had Otto moving up on him. Cullen chipped by Otto, but not out. Flyers coming right after the puck. Bratton center. Not a good one. Blind pass that bounced away. They get Peter Svoboda back, and he stays out there and guns it in, then takes a hit from Klima, and a penalty coming on it. Klima slashed at Svoboda. That is a huge undisciplined penalty on Peter Klima.
A man who has been in and out of the lineup as it is. A man who cannot afford those discipline breakdowns. You cannot retaliate in the playoffs in general. You have to be in control of your emotions, especially when your team is on the power play, and especially when your team is down by a couple of goals. So there was the slash. Peter Klima knows. He's been around. You've got the big power plays working. You've been on the power play. Bill McCreary's not going to let anything go.
Klima has been a big disappointment to Tampa Bay for those kinds of plays. That costs his team dearly. Want to remind you, on Sunday at 1:30, ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Winston Select 500. It's race number 9 in the Cup season. Terry Labonte continuing his record for most consecutive starts, 515. Talladega Speedway, the fastest track, Winston Select 500.
Kevin Holler, we understand, is on his way to the hospital for x-rays. One way or the other, Gary. The fact that he's on the way to the hospital for x-rays probably tell you that he may not be available for the next game, whether it's broken or not. He's obviously not able to return.
Well, the Klima penalty coming with over 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on that minor. Now a high stick. Gavey got away with one on Leclerc. Shot deflected wide by Dykhouse into the seats. Boy, the sticks are high. Petit still going at Lindros.
Look at Michel Petit standing over him. Now Michel Petit is a 205-pounder. He gives away 30 pounds to Eric Lindros. But he has sure embraced this assignment, the notion of his job in this series. And that is get Eric Lindros off of his game.
2 on Kevin Collins on a takedown. The linesman. Michel Petit with the nose that was hurt, coming back to play and hasn't let up an iota. Batted away, Cross dumps it back in behind the net to Petit. We're 4 on 4. Tampa Bay still has a chance at some short power play time. Cross centering pass. Dykhouse had tied him up. Intercepted Lindros, tried to clear, got it out of there. Klima took a run at him. But Kyle Anderson batted it away. Aaron Gavey, the rookie, back in his own end over to Cross. Cross back on the near side to Petit. 4 on 4. Center knocked away. Lindros has it. Gavey knocks him down, and Lindros is holding his face. No call here either. Lindros still down. Aaron Gavey, the rookie's the man who got him, and here comes Gavey the other way. Lindros sees that, gets back up. Hextall hangs on.
The bloodbath continues. I don't know if I've ever seen a game with more blood spilled through half a game. And not only that, it's kind of been like guerrilla warfare. I mean, nothing's been out in the open so that everybody's been able to see it. Referees have had to confer with the linesman. There it is. Aaron Gavey with the hit. And it looked like the hit that Eric Lindros laid on Michel Petit.
High sticks are called no respect hockey. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Al Morganti at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Flyers Lightning 2-2 in the series. Flyers a 2-0 lead. No call on the last stick that cut Eric Lindros. Well, keep Aaron Gavey's number in mind because he is. Off the faceoff, still 4 on 4. Desjardins behind the net, barring any other calls, and that's a big if. There's still a minute-plus power play coming for Tampa Bay once the penalty expires. Desjardins dumped it back out. Brindamore dropped it off to Falloon. Falloon back in. Brindamore got an angle. Turnaround shot. Great save, Pupa. What a tremendous shot by Brindamore. And like I said, it's a big if. A penalty coming up here on Tampa Bay.
Oh, what a terrific effort by Pat Falloon, and then even a better effort by Rod Brindamore even to get a shot on Darren Pupa. Rod Brindamore is one of the hardest players in the NHL to get off his feet, and he is tremendous with his skate. Look at him use his body here, tried to kick it up, couldn't get it up into the shooting position between his legs.
Candidate number 2 to hold it.
Our goal cam showed there wasn't much wood on it. It wasn't a real hard shot, but Rod Brindamore still got the shot away. A penalty on the play.
Rob Salminer of Tampa Bay has gone into for a cross-checking at 12:07. So we continue to pile up the penalty minutes, and these have been big ones against Tampa Bay. They were going to have a big double minor power play time, and they blew virtually all of it. Al Morganti.
Gary, the wounded return. Brian Bellows coming back to the bench. Just took 7 stitches under that left eye. I guess at playoff time, that's not a lot of stitching. Phil Esposito went running into that locker room. Very upset at the Lindros hit earlier, so I guess it's one back. And one guy hits one guy stitch for stitch in this game. Bellows 7, he's back. He'll be gone.
Keep an eye down there on Espo and Clark. We may have GMs cooling downstairs. Flipped away, not out of the zone. Eric Lindros. Anderson. Lindros trying to center. Tucker knocked it away. Desjardins held it in. Tucker again. And finally just batted out of the zone. The Flyers lead it 2-0. 7:25 to go here in the second period. A very rough game. Cross able to flip that one out of there. Brendan Moore will come back to get it. Both teams changing it up. Now a 4-on-4 situation. Cross back in the corner for it. Takes the hit. Lindros went after it. Cross had gotten him earlier. Dykhouse batted it away to center. Examiner trying to pick it up. Could not. And it rolls back. Lindros and Leclerc arguing about it, but it'll be touched up there. Want to remind you, ESPN and ESPN2 continue coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Starting at 7:30 tomorrow, the Canadiens and the Rangers on ESPN. The Capitals and the Penguins will go at it on ESPN2 on the Deuce. Those two teams with that quadruple overtime in their last game. It's now even at 2 apiece in that series. There's Bellows, who just came back, getting cut up. 6:59 to go here in the second period.
Well, Brian Burke, the man that dishes out the penalties for infractions such as the ones we've seen in this game. Brian, you know that weekend that you planned, that nice relaxing weekend?
Take your VCR. That's right. Flamer tipped that one ahead. See, Zamener's out there. We thought he had drawn that last call. He did not. I think Rudy Poschek the one who picked that one up. Shot Bradley. Save made by Hextall. Platt coming over to get it. Trent Platt looking up ice. Had Quinn cutting. He got dumped. Penalty coming again. Well, you wait long enough, Zamener will go. We thought he had the last one. He has got this one.
But now this game is absolutely out of whack. And you've got so many people going in and out of the penalty box that it becomes really hard to handicap at one point, especially with all of the men in the penalty box, the power plays. Trent Platt with a good move that had Zamener stick out the leg, but Rob Zamener knows that he committed the infraction way down in the offensive zone. It's one thing to take a guy down when he's threatening your end, but when he's trying to get out of his own end, you want to stay away from those, especially in Game 5 of this first-round series.
The goals in this game, kind of incidental. Redberg is first from Desjardins on a power play at 11:13 in the first period. Sean Bodine at 150 unassisted on an even strength goal to start the second. We've paid less attention to goals in this game than probably any other hockey game I've ever seen. There is Darren Pruitt, who now will get tested again as the Flyers will have a 4-on-3 power play. There's been virtually no even strength play here in this second period. Lightning 0 for 4 on the power play and the Flyers 1 for 5. Philadelphia's got the advantage again. Eric Lindros comes out to play here. 4-on-3 advantage for Philadelphia. Lindros moving it back in. Leclerc is out there with him. Desjardins and Swoboda, the defenseman, make the 4-man power play unit. There is Leclerc. Lindros will move back along the line now. We've just got it very much spread out. Lindros near side, in the middle. His shot, save made, Darren Pupa, right up in the air. Forward cross, got Leclerc, just put the gloves right in his face so he couldn't find the rebound. Dropped off, far side shot, save made, Cooper again, rebound batted wide into the corner. And Kyle Anderson clearing it up and out of the zone. Hextall there at the other end. Some of the penalties expiring. All kinds of people coming off the benches on both sides of the ice. Center. Pumpa! Knocked that one away with Harchuk cutting in. Cleared back out of the zone by Kyle Anderson.
Harchuk got a piece of that one too.
And a penalty again, and Leclerc had it with Corey Cross. A delayed call on Tampa Bay. Delayed whistle. Hextall's on the bench. The extra skater's out. There's the touch. We're not done yet here. There may be more. Brian Bellows, Cross are both out there. Leclerc, the man who got hit by Cross over near his bench.
Now, Bill McCreary is still trying to make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand. I think he's done a pretty good job. I mean, Tampa Bay won't
misconduct
that because they've ended up with the disadvantages.
Anytime.
Al, what's happening down there?
Well, looks like he gave him the hips. A misconduct penalty is getting out of hand on the ice, as you said. Tempers flaring with the referees. I'm getting out of the way as he's coming right under us here. The crowd all over him. And as you said, it looks like his temper got the better of him, and he's gone. Gary?
Corey Cross out of there with 5:21 to go in the second period. I am assuming that is a 10-minute misconduct, not a gamer.
And Corey Cross has been big in this series for Tampa Bay. Interesting call.
See the Philadelphia bench holding Leclerc back because the penalty had already been called on Cross.
There's that deflection by Dale Howardchuk. Good save by Darren Pupa. Pupa's back has been able to hold up in this tilt. Eric Lindros, yes, no question about it. That was headed in. Darren Howardchuk on the deflection after Eric Lindros laid it in front. Darren Pupa has been strong. Flyers lead this 2-0. But Darren Pupa's back continues to hold up, and he has made at least 4 terrific saves.
Now this is a 2-man advantage again for the Philadelphia Flyers. It is a 5-on-3 power play for the moment.
So we got a 2 and a 10.
A 2 and a 10. Yeah, 2 and a 10 picked up by Cross, 1 for roughing in the 10-minute misconduct. Lindros shot, deflected off the near side glass. 2-man advantage here. Lindros, Dykhouse. Philadelphia overloading far side. Quinn dropped it in the middle. Brendamore tipped it, not quite on net though. Balloon over there to play it. Lindros back up at a point. Balloon, Brendamore is in the middle. Quinn on the near side. Matt Balloon spun around. Quinn flips it back up to Dykhouse. Dykhouse moving. Lindros leads it. Brendamore got knocked down in front. Balloon moves it in. His shot, save made Darren Pupa, and he will hang on.
Yeah, not that sharp on the power play for the Flyers. Twice on this power play, unforced errors, passes into the skates. One went into Balloon's skates, one went into Eric Lindros' skates. At a 5-on-3, this could be a game clincher, game breaker right here with a 2-0 lead as the Flyers go up 3-zip.
Randy Andreichu, our erstwhile statistician who did the game last night that lasted till 2:30. Just delighted this game's going this way. His penalty sheet where he tries to figure out who's on a power play looks a lot like letters I write to nobody in particular. One of our cameramen, Robin, who came in here, he said he had an hour's worth of sleep. After the game, he said he sat down after that quadruple overtime and couldn't move.
That would be Robin Fogden proving once again that sleep is in fact overrated.
It is. See, now, I totally disagree with you. You cannot get enough sleep. Bang back in behind the net to Brendamore up to Leclerc. At the point, still a power play here. 2-5 for Lindros. John Tucker. Out of comes Zamaner. Zamaner's got a 2-on-1 here. Mikhail Anderson couldn't reach him. Zamaner had just come out of the box and was onside. There he is. Zamaner trying to hold it in camp. Zamaner will drop it back. It is, what are we here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5-on-4 power play for Philadelphia continues. Off the boards. Philadelphia coming out. Brendamore leaves it for Lindros. Still a power play. Over to Leclerc in the middle. Brendamore lined it up, rolled it in. Still there. Lindros had it bounce off him wide. And it got tied up in the pile long enough for the whistle from Bill McCreary. 3:58 left to go here in the second period. B-ball on the radio. Our coverage on ESPN of the NBA. Saturday at 3:07, Sunday at 5:07. You'll be seeing listening to two Western Conference playoff matchups. Rockets and Los Angeles with Magic back in the playoffs for the first time since '91. That will be Saturday, 3:07. And on Sunday, Game 2, the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls. Favored by everyone in the world and some not in it to win.
Look at Rob Zamaner. Can you believe it? Doesn't have any cuts in his face. One of the few. Can't say that about Dan Quinn.
Probably jinxed it. 3:58 left to go in this second period. Flyers leading at 2-0. A 5-on-4 power play opportunity continues here for the Flyers. Shaw sends it the length of the ice. Kevin Waller, the slashed right hand, gone to the hospital for x-rays. Elmore Gandy telling us they're saying if it's negative, he may try and come back. Falloon, Bill Holder in front. Holder Falloon. Falloon controlled it along the boards. Falloon pinned up by John Tucker. Spun back. Power play continuing. 13 seconds on it. Shot hit off the D. Rebound chipped into the corner. Great chance right there. Falloon out in front, and that one will be cleared. Falloon's really had some chances in this game right from he had the first scoring chance of the game.
He did. He was in off the right side, just about cold turkey and a partial breakaway, and couldn't put it home. And this is key here. Tampa can hang on to here and just keep this a 2-goal game, get out of penalty trouble. They are still alive. Absolutely.
Very much so. Trouble they've had all season is scoring. Terrier, shot, deflected. Tampa Bay with their people back now will start the offensive run or try. Bellows. His penalty's expired. Centered, hit the net. Bellows again looking. Gratton shot, save. Rebound, Bellows. Bellows trying to turn it back into the middle. Bodine blocked it. Bellows picks it up. Chris Gratton out in front, gunning one in. A penalty coming here. It's got to be on the Flyers. A boarding call. Chris Therien can't believe it. Therien going for the golden sombrero, trying for those 5 different penalties. He's picked up 3 of them so far. He gets a boarding there. He had a roughing earlier in the game and a double minor for high sticking after that.
The golden sombrero.
The golden sombrero. That's a 5 for 5 in baseball. He's after it here. A 2-0 lead for the Flyers. And a power play opportunity now for Tampa Bay with 2:40 to go in the second period. Chris Gratton moves out to take the face-off on the power play unit against Otto, who won the draw. Around to Brendamore. Length of the ice.
It would be the golden helmet.
The golden helmet. Tampa Bay 17th in offense in the NHL this season, averaging 2.9. Not much. Philadelphia was tied for 4th in offense and 4th in defense. Tampa Bay lived and died by their defensive unit. They were tied for 11th defensively, and Darren Pupa right there, a huge part of that. Pupa had trouble handling that. Podine moving up on it. Tampa Bay is on the power play. This is their 5th power play opportunity of the game. Obviously, have not converted, down 2-0 here. Sent back in. Hextall knocked it down and cleared out by Shell Sanderson. Pupa at the other end. Going back in behind the net. Peter Klima, Michel Petit. Bounced off Sullivan off skate. Klima picked it up for Bradley. Bradley trying to move. Trent Platt swung him around. Weaver's centering pass. Knocked down. Had it once, twice. Controlled by Bradley. Bellows moving to the middle. Takes the chance. Deflected out deep. Philadelphia, good job in the penalty killing unit. Short-handed opportunity. Trent Platt. Platt moving. Dropped it off. Had the pass blocked. Desjardins back to him. What a pass! What a save! How did he get that? Brendamore has had 2 chances tonight where the net was absolutely open.
I'm not sure that he didn't just shoot it over the net, Gary. Did Pupa get a piece of it?
I thought he did, but he may not have. Our Visa storyline, Renberg, the first goal since January 15 here. Podine, his first goal of the playoffs. The Lightning have won only 1 game here in Philadelphia in their history in Game 2.
With a minute and 12 seconds to go in this period, the Flyers just about had a 3-goal lead. Platt to Brendamore. He flat out shot that baby 8 inches over the crossbar. Darren Pupa had taken a bunch of the net away low. Good move by Pupa diving over. Rod Brendamore had time. He just jammed it right into the crowd. And that's why he was so frustrated when he came to the bench.
What a pass to set him up. Center, here we go. A little pushing and shoving as Bellows and Swoboda, eyeball to eyeball, just separated. There's Peter Swoboda. Less than a minute to go in the period. Swoboda and Bellows were right in each other's faces, circling at center ice while the play was going on. Swoboda back, shot, Pupa the save. Picked up by Swoboda. Takes the hit from Weimer and a high one and another penalty, and here they go again. Bellows takes a shot at Swoboda.
No, that's Weimer again, Gary. But he took, and you know what? That is a young guy's bad mistake. If Billy McCreary gives Peter Swoboda anything, I'll be surprised. And Weimer had one already. He dropped the gloves and looked like he nailed Peter Swoboda. Swoboda was backing up, and I'm sure Swoboda saying, "Come on, you want to go? Let's go." But you got to know Swoboda's not going to drop his gloves. This will be a very crucial call.
20 years old. Weimer stepped in. And we'll see how many. I mean, there may be a couple of penalties called here. Because the arm was up well ahead of that punch.
Now, that altercation after the whistle blew has to be kind of a freestanding call because there was already one coming to Weimer for his hit on Swoboda in the corner.
Well, we've only got 35 seconds left in the second period, and we'll play it the way it's been played. That's short-handed somebody.
Here's what happened. Billy Holder had, if Weimer doesn't leave his feet there, he doesn't get called, I don't think. But he left his feet, and it is, in fact, a double minor. 4 minutes to Jason Weimer.
Bill McCurry explaining how he came around and hit him the first time, and then here's the second.
I'm surprised he didn't knock him out. He looked like he landed one on the button there, right on the chin. Could have been worse than just a double minor, Gary. You drop your glove, grab a guy, and ding him like that.
Charging and roughing.
Well, Tampa has to get back to even strength before they can threaten, so they've got to get out of penalty trouble. If they can get back to even strength, they've got guys like Brian Bellows, even with his cut eye and his 7 stitches, that are capable of smart plays. A couple of minutes ago, Bellows off the side of the net. Look, he put on the brakes, got back, got his own rebound, passed to Chris Gratton. Tampa Bay has threatened a bunch of times. They've got talented players. This was Terry Chris' reaction to Bellows' miss, or at least Gratton's miss after the Bellows pass.
A lot of coaching here by both these coaches in this period in particular to figure out who to send out with someone in the box. Power play again. Marchuk shot blocked. Renberg picks it up, moves it in, takes it, Cooper the save. And a relatively gentle conclusion after the whistle.
After a whole bunch of battle in front, John LeClair and Billy Holder were going at it.
9th power play of the game for Philadelphia, having converted on 1. Tampa Bay cannot expect to win in that regard, giving them that many power play opportunities. Not a lot of shots in this game for either team.
More hits than total shots, more drops of blood than total shots, more penalties than total shots.
Lindros won it back to the point. Marchuk sent it around the net. Picked up by Lindros. Holder trying to take it away. Otto is there. Back up Lindros. Spun around here. Drops it down low. Renberg centered. Rolled it in. Deflects behind the net. Wrap around. On the back of the net. Otto tried to bang it off. Whistle blew in the face-off. Out the center, says Bill McCurry.
6.8 seconds to go in the period. It only take 8 or 10 minutes to play those last 6.8 seconds the way this has gone. But a hard-fought, physical, chippy, dirty at times, hotly contested hockey game. I mean, you had a little bit of everything in this one, from some terrific plays to terrific saves to some ruthless hits, some clean hits.
Series down to 3 games since they even 2-2 after 4. They'll go back Saturday night to Tampa Bay. So obviously a huge game. Somebody will have their backs to the wall after this one without any more room to lose. Off the face-off, won by Tucker. Long shot the length of the ice will conclude the second period. So after Renberg scored in the first, Podine at 150, an unassisted even strength breakaway goal has given Philadelphia a 2-0 lead with 1 more period regulation left to go. The way we'll start the third. John and Barry.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. It's going to take as long to play this one in regulation as the one in 4 overtimes last night. But if you're Philadelphia, you talk about learning from your mistakes. They've done that.
Yeah, John, they never respected Tampa Bay the first 2 games. They never played like this. They wanted to win, but without the effort, without paying the price. Tonight, they decided to pay a price to see how great this Philadelphia team is. Not nice to play against.
Yeah, Philadelphia is as tough as they get right now when you get them angered. Let's update this one. St. Louis against Toronto. We showed you the goal that made it 3-3. St. Louis coming back from down 3-2. But again, off the face-off, Gagne with the first shot at Mike Gartner, the veteran, gets the backhand, beating John Casey, his second goal of the night. Right now, the Leafs trying to stay alive, headed to the third period. They have a 4-3 lead. So stick around here between periods. When Barry and I come back, we will take a look at those other games, including that Florida-Boston one. It has tightened up just a little bit, and another look at St. Louis and Toronto as well. That and more when we return.
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by MasterCard, the official card of the NHL. By Pringles, so fresh, once you pop, you can't stop. And by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. Pretty much sums up what's gone on, what you saw behind our billboards. The Flyers have the 2-0 lead and a chance to take a 3-2 lead in this series.
Just about took a 3-0 lead in this game. 1 minute and 12 seconds to go in the second period. Trent Platt with a perfect dish. Rod Brind'Amour had half a net. All he got was proud.
Not real happy. And that's why. He's had a number of scoring chances in this game. Renberg and Podine have the goals. Desjardins the only assist. The Philadelphia Flyers, you see, lost 5 games when they had a lead going to the third. 2 of those 5 losses this year have been in this series against Tampa Bay. They have come back. Tampa Bay has to get 2 games into overtime after they went to the third trailing and went on to win those 2 games. But they have their work cut out for them here. This is not the same Flyers team they faced in the first 2 games or even the first 3 of this series. Flyers really had looked ahead and were a little embarrassed by the way Tampa Bay came back and won a game here 2-1 and won a game in Tampa Bay 5-4. Flyers won the last one 4-1 to even the series and a chance here to take a lead in the series. Underway, third period. Gary Thornton, Clement, Al Morganti. Delighted to have you with us. Hope you're enjoying our coverage, which will continue right through the Stanley Cup Finals. Quinn, got it, shot, Poopa, found it. Oh. Darren Poopa misplaying the puck. Quinn, there's another one, almost.
Flyers really want to take their time here and get the third goal. They've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go on a power play. The double minor to Jason Weimer late in the second period. Here's Darren Poop. Wow. Was he trying to clear up the middle? Sure was. Pat Falloon had kind of sealed off the board, so Darren Poop has said, I've got one option up the middle. Really, there was another option behind the net the other way.
Chance. Squeeze the pad. Shot on it, though. Power play underway here for the Philadelphia Flyers. 3:02 and the double minor on the board. Save made by Darren Poopa, picked up by Quinn. So a big chance with this advantage to add to that 2-0 lead. Near side, Swoboda missed it. Short side on the backhand, didn't get it on net. Brind'Amour held it in. There's Quinn, Brind'Amour, Falloon. Big hit put on down behind the net. Back up for Dykhouse. Off the boards, near side, Brind'Amour. Falloon set up in front. That's Quinn behind the net. Quinn looking. Swoboda cutting in. So's Dykhouse. Everybody's down low in this power play for Philadelphia. They'll back up here. Picked up by Brind'Amour. 2:18 left in this power play. It's a long one. Back on the near side, Falloon. Tampa Bay stays back, tight in the box here. Falloon. Brind'Amour in the middle, shot Dykhouse. Quinn almost tipped it, centered. Falloon, the move. Score! Pat Falloon's a nifty stick handling right there.
What a big-time goal. What a big-time goal by Pat Falloon. This is what the Flyers thought they were getting when they made the trade to get Pat Falloon from San Jose. Watch this. I mean, he's stick handling in a phone booth. He's got no room. He's got nobody to pass to. And he was able to, deep behind the goal line, bring it back out front. The little arms and the short stick had just enough reach to slam it home. Oh, yes. The Flyers finally have that 3-goal cushion that has been eluding them since early in the second period after Sean Bodine had given them a 2-0 lead. Falloon made that happen by himself. That is a singular effort. Really a terrific move.
And timing is everything. He scored it before that first double minor had expired, 3 seconds before. So the power play continues. Jason Weimer, who got charged with charging and roughing at 19:24 of the second, proving to be a huge penalty, and it was an undisciplined penalty, both of them. And now Philadelphia has taken advantage of the first of those to take a 3-0 lead, and they're still on it. Lindros in, center, rolled in on Pupa, you'll cover. Lindros got driven into the net after he took that shot.
Did he ever, Gary? Rudy Poshek. I don't even know if Eric Lindros knows where he is here. Yeah, he's going for his stick. Rudy Poshek buried Eric Lindros' face, or at least tried to, right into the corner of the goal, where the post meets the crossbar. Eric Lindros had reached out front to try to get his own rebound on Darren Pupa, and he left himself wide open, and Rudy Poshek made him pay for it. What a crunching hit.
We think this game has been ugly at times, and it has been because of some of the penalties high sticking. 3-0, and if they add to it and made it 4-0, Tampa Bay, they begin to feel as though the game's over. It could really get ugly.
Watch this. Great move. That was Poshek that Eric Lindros beat. Passed it in front, deflection on. Oh, maybe his face cleared. Maybe his face missed the corner, but he got it right in the collarbone or up near his shoulder. But Rudy Poshek is a very big, strong man.
No call.
Watch it from here. So watch Lindros reach for his rebound right there, and that's when Poshek...
Wow. Power play continues. Ulanoff around the boards. Therrien couldn't hold it in. Therrien had to take Zaminer down behind the play, so he couldn't break out. Desjardins back. 1:21. Falloon from Quinn and Dykhouse on the power play to give the Flyers a 3-0 lead. 1:18 left on the advantage. Hit put on by Poshek again on Leclaire. Leclaire knocks it down. Centered shot. Renberg wide. Went off Ulanoff. Therrien holds it in. Ulanoff trying to sweep it away. Couldn't. Lindros reversing, and he got hit again. And this time there'll be a penalty. And it's Poshek again. Lindros getting up. He gets whacked by Poshek as he goes by. What is he doing? Is he out of his mind? His team is down 3-0. He knew he'd gotten called for a penalty. He went back and found Lindros, and on open ice, slashed him.
You know what, Gary? I think that Eric Lindros found him. Eric Lindros got up. He knew the penalty was being called. He left his glove behind. Lindros is smart enough to go and try to get another one. Poshek obliged him with the whack. Don't know if he's going to get called for it, but it almost looked to me like Lindros went so that Poshek would be put in that position again.
And he did.
Yeah,
he came back
sure
across. He gets a double minor. A charging and a slash. That was so blatantly obvious. Terry Chris was got to be wondering here, what is Poshek thinking about with his team down here just starting the third period, 3-0.
You got 3 minutes to go in the game and you're down by 3. You might want to take this take no prisoners attitude and try to do some damage for the next game. There's the original hit by Poshek. It really wasn't all that hard, but it looked like he got his elbow up a little bit. Watch Eric Lindros here without his glove. Where does he go? Watch him. Poshek came back and whacked him. You know, almost looked like Poshek was going for the bare hand. Lindros had left one glove in the corner.
Give them the tickets. Thanks.
Oh, he almost got the knee up on him on the way down.
This is one we talked about. Brian Burke is going to be watching tape. Brian Burke will be looking at this because if you ever see a play where there may be an intent to injure that you could legitimately call, you may have it right here.
I swear that Rudy Poshek went for the bare hand there.
Poshek was all the way over on the near side boards because I was watching. He had to go back to get Lindros. El Morganti?
That's right. You've got it exactly right, Gary. There is going to be a review by Brian Burke. Phil Esposito has already tried to contact the league. This is all about the Eric Lindros hit on Michel Petit early. Phil Esposito, the general manager, just incensed at that hit. So what's happening here is looks like the Lightning are trying to retaliate. And Bill, it looks like you called that exactly right. I was watching Lindros down here at the boards. It looked like he was trying to draw another penalty from post-check. But it's obvious here that they're trying to send a message for the next game or whatever. Lightning not going to back down in this game. And post-check, of course, in. Hammer look out. Played right into this kind of game.
Well, Brian Burke better take 2 VCRs for that quiet weekend he was going to have. And Federal Express is going to get wealthy because you know that the Flyers, if Phil Esposito sends a tape, you know the Flyers are going to pick up 3 or 4 incidents that occurred in this game with their guys getting sliced and send those tapes to the league.
Now, the thing is, though, this game's not over for Tampa Bay. I mean, 3-0 with a whole period to go. 2-man advantage. Leclaire, it may be over now. A 2-man advantage. John Leclaire, power play goal. 4-0 Philadelphia.
John Leclaire finished this one off, but some terrific execution by Eric Desjardins sent him in. Here is Desjardins, number 37. This is a tough pass to make. Backhand getting ridden off the play and getting caught back there. Looked like it was John Tucker who got caught back in a defenseman's position. Yeah, it was John Tucker. He could just take a swat at John Leclaire. A great shot. John Leclaire's got a super release. That is goal 15 for John Leclaire in 13 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning since he joined the Flyers organization.
And the power play is still underway. They had a 2-man advantage when Philadelphia scored that goal. Now they have a 5-on-4, but remember, it's a double minor. There's 3 minutes and 26 seconds left on this power play for the Flyers. Dykhouse starts it up. Over to Brendamore. Quinn tips it in. Came back to Brendamore. Swoboda, Zaminer got a piece, couldn't do anything with it. Oh, Quinn had a chance. A little too tight for the shot, though. Back over, near side, Swoboda. Fakes, tried to drop it in front. Blocked to the corner by Shaw. And brought up Zaminer. A 2-on-3. Burr tried to move it in. Did. Zaminer open the shot. Hextall, big save! And deflected away. Good play by Burr, and Zaminer almost got the short-handed. Still a power play. Falloon leaves it. Brendamore save made by Kuba. Ulanoff clears it up, not out. Desjardins held it in. A 4-0 Philadelphia lead. Goals at 1:21 and 2:43 of this period. Leclaire from Desjardins and Howardchuk on the second power play goal. Flyers have now scored on back-to-back shots. Lindros, Ulanoff again on the far side. And now at the bench, Petit and Leclaire.
And Lindros too, Gary. It was Petit and Lindros that came together. Michel Petit decided to take the wide radius on the turn, knowing that it would take him right into Eric Lindros' path. Oh, man. Remember Rod Brendamore? He missed a chance at the end of the second period to put the Flyers up 3-0. He shot right over the net. He is breathing a huge sigh of relief now because a couple of other guys have given the Flyers the breathing room that they wanted. Pat Falloon got goal number 3, and that was goal number 4. Igor Ulanoff. Ulanoff had the wake-up call earlier in this game when Eric Lindros just ripped him into the boards. So now Eric's got everybody looking for him coming.
Near side for Lindros, sends it in. Ulanoff from Darren Pupa. Cleared away to center. Desjardins back. John Leclaire now has 4 goals in this series, having missed 1 game. Aaron Gagey, the rookie, short-handed. Tampa Bay, they got to go for it. Mikhail Anderson had it blocked by Desjardins over the glass. Other games, keeping us posted, John Saunders.
Well, it's time for the Network MCI play of the night. It's Adam Oates with his second goal of the game. This one on a breakaway. Upstairs on Van Beesbrook, just inside the crossbar. Bruins are going to stay alive. It's 5-2.
Florida teams having exceptional starts to their playoff histories, with Florida and Tampa Bay both in for the first time.
Now, how does that schedule go? They've got 6 games in the next 3 days or something like that.
Unless Garth Brooks wants to come back to another show.
Right.
Brendamore will take the face-off against Tucker in the Philadelphia end. Still a minute 49. remaining on the double minor against Tampa Bay. Long power play here. Cleared around to Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour controls it himself. Philadelphia setting up the power play chances. Brind'Amour drops it. That's Balloon. Swoboda deflected. Brind'Amour may get a piece off the glass and gloved by Darren Pupa. Our coverage on ESPN and on the Deuce continues on Saturday at 7:30. We'll televise Game 6 of this series back at the Thunderdome. They had over 28,000 there for Game 4. If Toronto wins tonight versus St. Louis, we'll try and give you Game 6 of that series beginning at 7:30 in St. Louis. Then we'll air the Colorado-Vancouver series at 10:30. That's on the Deuce. If Toronto is ousted tonight, the Deuce will cover the Avalanche and Canucks 10:30 Eastern Time. That's all on Saturday. Darren Pupa bats that one away. John Tucker cleared out of the zone. Hextall back. Minute 16 left in this power play for Philadelphia.
And if anybody didn't understand that scenario of game, just call John and Barry in the studio. They'll explain it.
On the near side, Lindros. Where's the phone? Centering pass intercepted by Tucker. And Tucker clears the length of the ice. Hextall drops it off right in front of his net. A little nonchalant here with a 4-0 lead. 14:20 to go. Batted away from Balloon by Ulyanov. Again, Hextall back in his own end. Terrian comes back to get it. Kevin Haller has not returned to the game after he took a slash. Went to the hospital for x-ray. Terrian centered, tried, went behind the net instead. Lindros dumped it in. Back in front to Kyle Anderson. Looked up to check the clock here. Breaks it out and sends it. 25 left. At least he tried. Hit off the Flyers bench. That'll draw the whistle. Yeah, we expected a rough game. We certainly have had that.
Really interesting number about this series. This is Game 5. No defenseman has scored yet in the series. It has been all the people up front. For that matter, we've hardly seen any defenseman even join the rush in this game, Gary.
And the man who was second for Tampa Bay during the regular season in scoring was a defenseman, Roman Hamrlik, who had 65 points. Hadn't scored in the previous 4 and a scratch tonight with the flu. Well, they have missed Hamrlik in this game. Face-off coming at center. John Tucker again, and again we'll lose it. Here we go. Petit.
Look at this now. Sean Antosky better be careful because he's going to put his team at a huge disadvantage, and it may not be for this game, but Bill McCurry was all over that. The puck was dropped. Sean Antosky dinged Michel Petit right off the bat, and then just blatantly went after him.
So you better be careful here, Bill. He's going to add some more.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
He's not stopping here.
No. And
Brian Burke is going to have some calls to make on some of these situations when he gets back to review them.
He's going to have to rent one of our mobile units that has about 14 screens on it and 74 different bays for viewing tape.
You can't be doing what Antosky's doing here. You're putting a linesman at risk by continuing to go after the opponent when you're being held off.
That's one of the biggest, strongest in the NHL, Kevin Collins. I've seen Kevin Collins in this building. Kevin Collins is fearless. Now he's giving Antosky a piece of his mind. I've seen Collins get in the middle of a fight and take 8 stitches over the eye. Got an errant punch, and it looks like Michel Petit got his nose banged up again. Remember, Michel Petit missed the better part of a period after taking a high stick in the nose from Eric Lindros. We thought it was broken. Turned out not to be broken, but he was shaken up and woozy. Finally came back after the second period and started. Watch this. Boom. There's the first shot from Sean Antosky, and then he just said, whoa, I'm just going to go after you. And right there is where Sean Antosky could and should have let him go.
Petit finally showing a little discipline out there for a Tampa Bay player down 4-0 here instead of responding.
Discipline or maybe some sense. I mean, Sean Antosky's 235 pounds, and he's going after him. Michel Petit already has a nose that was half smashed on his face. I mean, he's tough. He ain't stupid.
Antosky's still arguing there. Bill McCurry talking. Lindros who came out to hear what the call's going to be. John Tucker standing there, and Toski's gone. He's leaving the game.
Look at this. We've got a goaltending change here, too, for Tampa Bay. Jeff Reese is coming in to take Darren Pupa out. And Jeff Reese is actually explaining to Darren Pupa what's going on. Looks like Pupa doesn't want to come out. Al, are you down there?
Yeah, Gary, it doesn't get any better than this at the Spectrum. 4 goals, a fight, guys going to the hospital. They wanted people to get squashed here tonight. Michel Petit, a fight with Antoski. This is everything they want for hockey in Philadelphia. The goals aren't enough, and they're getting their fill of it here. Gary, Bill, you know what this is all about.
Well, I got some friends in the crowd that are rather civilized now. You're painting everybody the same color.
Well, in this section here, they are all to be painted the same color. I'm just happy they're going to paint the throw.
Well, I was sure wrong, Al. I said, are you down there? You're not down there. You're up there.
Yeah, I'm up in the second level, the real people, Bill. I don't get the big seats like you do.
Petit looks like he's in a skit on Saturday Night Live.
And they wanted to come here tonight after everything that's happened in Tampa. Ulanov, Petit, they had certain people that they had in their sights, just like Eric Lindros. What I think they may be unhappy about, if there are suspensions, the belief here in Philadelphia is always, if you hit them hard enough, you'll win every game. And the goals come kind of as an aside.
Michel Petit. Al is right. That's been the talk all over the radio airwaves over the last couple of days. People have kind of been demanding blood in this area, wanting the Flyers to send their muscle out against people like Michel Petit and Igor Ulanov simply because they've been doing their jobs. They've been targeting Eric Lindros just the way Washington has been targeting Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr. I mean, that's the nature of the beast in the playoffs. If you're a key player, you've got a giant bullseye on your uniform someplace. Tampa Bay is an 8th place team trying to go up against a 1st place team. They have to try to get the Flyers off their game.
Sean Antoski may be missing in action for a while. He got a match penalty. Boy, you don't get many of those. He got a double minor for roughing, game misconduct, and a match penalty. And those are rarely called. It could be because he would not stop fighting after Kevin Collins had a hold of him down on the ice. That is an absolute no-no. So he draws the match. The double minor, the game, and the match. So Antoski is out of there. 22 seconds remaining on the post check double minor penalty for Tampa Bay, and now we're going to pile some penalty minutes up for the Flyers. This is why, because this could happen, for Postcheck to have done what he did, to put his team at such a disadvantage when they were very much in the game, starting this period behind 2-0 and even at 3-0.
Well, when a game has been this chippy, sooner or later it builds emotionally inside of you, and you just don't want to be the first team to break. No. You don't want to be the first team to completely lose it discipline-wise. Tampa Bay had theirs. Jason Weimer, the kid, took Peter Svoboda, took a double minor, pounded him in the chin. Rudy Poschek followed him. Now Sean Antoski has done it to the Flyers, but in this case, the Flyers got a 4-zip lead.
We will get this sorted out when we come back. Let's check in with John Saunders. John?
All right, well, the Boston Bruins will live to see another day. The game's not over yet, but they've opened up a 6-2 lead. McEachran skates in. Puck comes in front and somehow deflects in. 6-2.
John, thanks. The Flyers leading here 4-0, and it may be fortunate they've been able to add the 2 goals here because 9 minutes worth of penalties have been assessed with a double minor in the 5-minute major. The game misconduct in the match are all of them coming against Antoski.
And they will run consecutively.
So, I mean, there's a huge, with 13:53 left to go. I mean, Tampa Bay, if they'd been able to stay at 2 or even 3-0, really would have had a shot here. So while they continue to discuss at the bench, as Bill McCurry's explaining it, Terry Murray, we'll be right back. Now, while all this is going on, Tampa Bay has made a goaltending change. Darren Pupa is out. This is 30-year-old Jeff Reese, who lost 4-1 in net in the last game and came on for the first playoff win at home for Tampa Bay. He won the game down there 5-4 in overtime. Here we go with a long time left, 13:39, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Their penalties are expiring right now. So now Tampa Bay goes on the power play here. And a 5-on-4 power play opportunity for them. It'll be sent in. Hextall back up the middle. Bill Holder trying to hold it in and could not. They've got a lot of time here to try and score some power play goals, but they've been unsuccessful at it in this game. And that one's touched up, and that'll draw the whistle. And it goes out of play. Klima out there, the power play unit. Tampa Bay with 18 shots on net. Flyers have 24 in this game. Renberg, Podine, Falloon, and Leclerc have the Philadelphia goals.
Brian Bellows is just one of at least 4 that we've been able to count players that have been cut in this game. Brian Bellows 1 for Tampa. Michel Petit, if not cut, he sure bled a lot. He got dinged in the first period. Dan Quinn was cut. Eric Lindros was spewing blood out of his nose. Kevin Haller gone to the hospital, has not returned as yet. As far as we know, x-rays on his thumb. In one of those nights.
I don't think I have ever seen 9 minutes put up for the power play. That's what's up there. And we're down to 8 minutes and 2 seconds on the power play chance. You see the power play time because of all of those penalties. The 2 minors are served first and then the 5-minute major. Tipped away. So Tampa Bay, what they want to do here is score early on here so they can continue, keep those penalty minutes up on the board. Klima dropped it, shot, deflected wide. Don't think that hit Hextall. Back up, wide again. Klima shot it in. Desjardins trying to clear. Had it knocked down by Chris Gratton. Back up to Klima. Klima and Holder playing the point. Trying to get it to Holder. It was blocked and sent out. Good play by Podine. Jeff Reese holding it up the other end. Klima back to get it. Bradley will start it up for Tampa Bay. Flyers up 4-0. 12 to go in regulation. Bellows hit by Terrien. Shaw sends it across ice. They get onside. Dumped back in by Bradley. Hextall leaves it. Terrien there's got a lot of room. Straight up the middle. Reese. Shaw comes back to get it. Told you this power play during the regular season to Tampa Bay was a good one. Finished 4th on the power play overall in the league. Blocked. Into the middle went Bellows. Couldn't get the return pass to him. Lindros over there doing battle. Freed it up. Samuelson clears it out. First minor has expired. 6:32 left on this 9-minute power play. Shaw. Here's Chris Gratton coming. Solovyov in the middle. Sends it around to Cullen. Back up. Shot Petit. That's deflected in front into the seats. Probably off Solovanov's stick.
Ron Hextall was pushing for the faceoff to be out of the zone, but I think he may get it. No, he's not going to get it. I think it went off Carl Dykhouse in front.
Kept you posted on the other games going on in the playoffs around the National Hockey League on this night.
Well, what a tussle there. Canucks and Avalanche 1-1. What a series. Vancouver Canucks, the team nobody wanted to play in the West. That's why.
That's why they've evened that series up against a team that is highly rated. Second only to Detroit in the West, in most people's opinions.
Vancouver's hanging in there. There were 21 rookie goaltenders that saw action in the NHL this year. 21. Only one that has seen action in the playoffs, and that's Torrey Hirsch of the Vancouver Canucks.
Lots of it. Cleared around. Cullen on the far side. Tampa Bay trying to hold this in. Can't. Holder will give chase. Again, a good play on the far side. Otto got over there. 9-minute power play down to 6 minutes. Desjardins stepped in. Blocked away. Good play, Otto. Down behind the net. Holder pins him up, frees it up. Gratton clears it out. Philadelphia trying to change up penalty killers. Solovyov sends it in. Hextall came up, got tied up with Carl Dykhouse. They avoid the bullet on that one. Holder to Cullen. Cullen tried to drop it off. Desjardins blocked it. And it's flipped up out of the zone. Dale Howard check. Reese at the other end. go, third period. Series knotted at 2 each. We'll go back to Tampa Bay for Saturday night. Sammonov knocked down by Terrien. Good play by Terrien. Rob Sammonov lost control of it. Reese at the other end. The team moves up. Power play still underway here for Tampa Bay. Aaron Gavey sends it in. Comes around near side. Jammed up, blocked that time. Coming to hold it in. Petit gunned it out in front. Gavey tried to knock it down. Samuelson clears it out. The second minor is over. Now we're serving the major on this power play. 4-0 Flyers lead. Petit. Sent in wide by Bradley. Hextall! Shaw runs into him and a penalty coming. Hextall looking.
Well, now Hextall's playing peacemaker. He is actually pulling Eric Lindros back out of the pile. Ron Hextall looked like he was going to try and get his gloves off and dive in. A younger Ron Hextall might have.
That may conclude Tampa Bay's power play. 10:39, the time of these calls. Shaw gets 2 for goaltender interference. Peter Swoboda and Jason Weimer each get 10-minute misconduct penalties. So it's even here. We skate 4-on-4 now. Tampa Bay losing part of that big 9-minute power play time. Ulanoff drops it off, comes back into the middle. Tampa Bay down 4-0 with 9 minutes left to go. Bellows tried to wind up and shoot it, and it blocked. Brendamore. Philadelphia will get a 2-on-1 chance. Quinn coming. Quinn moving it in. Quinn trying to take it around Ulanoff and couldn't get it there. Well played. Ulanoff.
Great play.
Ulanoff stepped in and a clear 2-on-1. Made the good play. Ross at center. Second effort gets it into the zone by Samuelson. Near side to Dykehouse. Gavey moved up on him. Ulanoff. His shot. Hextall knocked it down. Brendamore's got it. Tampa with 20 shots in the game. 4-on-4 situation. Ulanoff takes it away from Falloon and takes it back in behind the net. In a very different kind of game. Gavey centering pass. Terrien is there. Tried to feed it back through the middle, near side. Brendamore. Holder takes him out of the play. Puck along the boards to Michel Petit. He's not gained any friends in the city of brotherly love in this game. Behind the net, Terrien starts it up. Terrien moves to the middle. Still in a 4-on-4. Philadelphia changing. Terrien in. Shot blocked. Cross got a piece of that one. Balloon moved over for Philadelphia. Play behind the net by Petit de Bellows. 7:40 left to go here in the third period. Hear them hollering the players on the bench here as they're making changes. Cross sent it back into the middle. Solomonov trying to move in. Got a hook down. Picked up behind the play. Archuk's got it. He comes back up. Near side with Claire. Claire cuts in front. Save made by Reese. Archuk took the shot with Leclerc skating by Reese on the screen. Ryan Bradley circling back in his own end. Again, both teams making changes. 7:06 to go here in the third period. Bradley's pass comes back to the blue line. Bradley's got to come back to get it. Bradley picks it up, moving it along. Power play, Tampa Bay again. Shot save, Hextall. Rebound, Bradley tipped it up. High, too high. Bellows centers Ulanoff. Power play for the Bolts. Back in front, knocked down Desjardins. Otto will clear. Podine up. Ulanoff ahead of him. Reese will come out to play. Still in the power play. Ulanoff is taking a beating here tonight.
Did he get hit by Podine? Man, what a hit.
John Podine came back to get him. Lindros cleared it out of the zone. Ulanoff again. Ooh, got the stick up on Black.
That was just a blatant slash across the arms. And
Black took that one, and the puck ends up being hit with a high stick.
Going to finish the way it started.
Jeez. 6:17 to go, John.
Well, time was running out on the St. Louis Blues. They look to eliminate the Toronto Maple Leafs. 13 seconds left. The puck comes to Al McGinnis on a power play. He tees it up. One of the best shots in the NHL. Felix Potvin looked bad on it. It's tied at 4, and they are headed to overtime.
5 overtime.
Notice there were bodies lying on the ice. The trainers were jumping over the boards to see who was hurt on that play. Who was hurt on this play? Not Igor Ulanov. He was just had his helmet rattled again. Igor Ulanov has played one hell of a hockey game. He has taken a beating since the beginning. Sean Podine, Eric Lindros, everybody's gone out of their way to whack him, and he just keeps on ticking.
Tampa Bay still on the power play here. A 5-on-4, another minute 24 remaining on the penalty. Face off at center, Brendamore against Burr. Flyers turn it up ice here. Terrian drops it off to Brendamore. Brendamore, Reese knocked it away behind the net. Tampa Bay's power play tonight just has not been effective for them. And their lack of discipline has cost them dearly. Good play. Hextall on Shaw. Shot that one in center. Philadelphia still short-handed. Cleared out. Brendamore. Reese comes way out to get it. Had to flip it off the boards. John Burr back. Philadelphia changing up their penalty-killing unit as Burr leads the charge. Guns that one in. Hextall batted it down. Dykhouse and Burr. Dykhouse got it. Dykhouse the flip. Holder moves over. Beaten to it. Cleared out. Renberg. Good play. Renberg the one who drove that one out of the zone. Following it. Harchuk back in the middle. Pass to him. Blocked. Bobby Corkum tried to get it in there. And Shaw gets the glove up. Back the other way comes Cullen. Cullen clears it in. Hextall's there. Time remaining just 15 seconds in the power play. Cullen from behind the net. Center shot. Grattan blocked by Desjardins again. Back up near side Petit. Fakes open. Takes it. Tipped in. Save made. Hextall. Chris Grattan in front. Philadelphia, scene of great hockey games, has provided one tonight. 4-0 Flyers. Flyers win, and they'll take a 3-2 lead in this series. They're up 4-0 right now. And Gary Miller's standing by. Baseball tonight. And the highlights, the Indians-Yankees going at it. And Comiskey, the Mariners are visiting the White Sox. Red Sox to put a couple of wins together against the Rangers. More coming up. Baseball tonight.
Ron Hextall has sure been good when he's had to be in this hockey game. Reggie Lemelin, the goaltending coach of the Flyers, been on the ice with the goalies for the Flyers, but nothing technical. Talking about the opposition. I mean, trying to adjust something with a goalie in the playoffs would be like a caddy saying to a golfer in the Masters before the third round, you got a hitch in your swing. You really got a little hitch up there at the top of your swing.
He's been at it tonight. Now about the only question, can he get a shutout? Chris Grattan dropped it off. Hextall reached down and blocked it. Hextall looking for a playoff shutout here. The penalties have expired. Flyers are back at full strength. Shut off. Shut up. Along the boards. Podine sticks up again. It was Petit who was down on the ice.
Sure was. And who's that that waited in? Corey Cross. Oh, still getting ugly. Michael Renberg with a major takedown. And now Chris Grattan and Joel Otto look like they're ready to start swinging. Bill McCreary has done as good a job as any referee could to try to keep this game under control. And finally it's busting open. That is Grattan and Joel Otto. Two men about equal size. Ooh, what an uppercut by Joel Otto. Looked like a miss. Well, one of those didn't miss. Well, you got to keep your hands off. You're on the bench. You got another visit from Brian Burke, or discussion with Brian Burke. At least Joel Otto and Chris Grattan look like they're fair and square and letting each other go, but away from that, the jaws of life are going to need to be brought out to pull people apart.
Marked men in tonight's game, and Michel Petit has been one of them. Sean Podine went after him, knocked him down. Cross came over to retaliate. Flyers leading at 4-0. 4:20 left to go. Equals about an eternity as far as Bill McCreary, the referee, is concerned. as he has, as Bill said, done a great job in keeping this game under control. But with this game out of hand now for Tampa Bay, it has gotten only worse. He's explaining the calls over there. While he does so, RB's head and shoulders storyline. LeClair, the power play goal. 3 goals in the last 2 games now, as he's got 4 in the series. You see the penalty minutes, 60 and 50 respectively. Power plays, Tampa Bay 0 for 9. While the Flyers have gone 3 for 11, and there'll be more penalty minutes added to that.
In our head and shoulders replay, we take you back to early in the first period. Eric Lindros and Michel Petit came together. Blood was spilled early in this hockey game. You didn't have to be a genius to figure out before this one started there was going to be all kinds of contact.
Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that finished 8th, knowing coming into this they were certainly the team outclassed talent-wise. So you make up for that, as Terry Crisp told his team, by just playing strong, physical hockey every shift.
Yeah, basically drag the Flyers into the trenches. Yes, they've got a big hockey team, and yes, they can hit as well, but you've got to take their focus away from their game, and the only way to do that is to try to engage them in the hitting game. Michel Petit just keeps on ticking. He's got blood just about everywhere in his jersey. For a while, he had cotton packed up each nostril. Looked like a fighter that had just finished a dozen rounds. And I'll tell you what this is about right here. This is about Darren Pupa getting a head start on icing down his back. Guarantee it. And after Darren Pupa coming off and Jeff Reese going into relief, you got to think that Darren Pupa's back on the bench might have a chance to stiffen up a little bit. So Tampa Bay wants to make sure Darren Pupa starts treatment immediately for the next game. Michel Petit, what's left for him to do?
No, we're still getting these penalties sorted out here. That's the delay. Want to remind you, NHL tonight, Tuesday through Saturdays at 11:30 on the Deuce. All the playoffs going on and the great games. You'll see all the highlights, be brought up to date on all the scores and how the series are going. NHL tonight, 11:30 Eastern, Tuesday through Saturdays, or immediately following games on the Deuce. John Saunders has kept us up to date on other action in the other games. Let's check with him again. John?
Well, Barry and I have been fighting, going toe-to-toe here in the studio just to keep in line with your game. The Canucks against the Avalanche here. Krupp does the work, taking it behind the net. And then watch Valerie Kamensky parked right on the doorstep, finds it right between the legs, and it's 2-1 Avalanche.
Playoff. There you see Forsberg, 4 goals, 5 assists, updated for the current numbers. And Sakic, 4 goals and 3 assists for the Avalanche.
That double-pronged attack that the Avalanche have down the middle. A very strong 1-2 punch at center with Sakic and Forsberg. Hey, John Saunders, if it means anything to you, I got you in 4 rounds over Barry.
I got the nearest restaurant. 15:40 the time of the calls. Tampa Bay, Grattan, and Philadelphia's Otto get 5 each for fighting. Petit and Renberg get 10 minutes each on a misconduct, and Corey Cross gets 2 for roughing. If you hold it up, we will give it to you. Still waiting to get this thing going. 4-0, Flyers on top. End up with yet another power play. ESPN's Baseball Tonight. All the highlights of the day's and evening's games coming right along. We've got another power play here. This one's for Philadelphia. It is the 12th power play they've had in this game. They picked up 3 power play goals. They've got the 4-0 lead. Back out Backhouse. His shot reached the save, and he had it long enough to get a whistle. Bill McCurk, and another penalty.
Dan Quinn is down again. Remember, he went down with the man. Dan Quinn's now starting to look like his face just got put through a blender. He looked kind of normal when this game started. You know that?
Rosechek, who has watched most of this game, they should charge him. Have to buy a ticket for the third period.
Number 20, Rudy Kochek, 2 minutes for roughing. Time 16 minutes and 10 seconds. Rudy Kochek, Tampa Bay, 2-minute minor, roughing.
A 2-man advantage for the Flyers.
Before all of this started, when all of this, that's a good term. I wonder where I should start that point of all of this. Before these last couple of penalties occurred, there have been 4 10-minute misconducts handed out by Bill McCreary, 1 game misconduct, 1 match penalty, 5 double minors, and 64,000 minor penalties.
Lindros tried to hold it in. Tucker took it away. 4-0 Philadelphia leading. Renberg, Rodin, Falloon, and LeClaire have the goals for Philadelphia. 3 power play goals. The even strength goal, Bodine. Tucker tried to knock it down. Philadelphia had to clear the zone, so they let it go. Zaminer comes back to get it. Hextall's looking for his 3rd career playoff shutout. And he's also looking to move ahead of Bernie Perron for all-time playoff wins by a goaltender. Perron with 35, and with Philadelphia, Ron Hextall also has 35. Now, he's got more than that. He's got 39 total playoff wins. But as a Flyer, 35. So he can go ahead of Hall of Famer Bernie Perron. His name is retired. The number 1 up there. There are his overall career playoff numbers. He's got 316 left to go here in this 3rd period. It'll be something in the return before some 28,000 in Tampa Bay on Saturday night.
No kidding.
They will be rocking the Thunderdome.
Absolutely. And there's no reason to believe that Game 6 of this series will not begin and end the way this one began and ended.
Off the face-off, cleared out by Shaw. Power play underway here for the Flyers. They've got a 2-man advantage. Take that back. Yes, they do. There he is. Find the other one. Dropped off for Brendamore. Balloon is standing up the other blue line. Near side to Quinn. 2-man advantage. In the middle is Jardin. Shot blocked in the corner. Quinn. Brendamore picks it up. Brendamore balloons in the near side. Tried to get it to him at a block. Balloon up the wall. Wouldn't be held in. Jardin to give chase back at his own blue line. 2:38 to go here in the period. Centered below. Lindros is out on a point. There he is. Eric Lindros, a huge part in this game, does not have a point. Desjardins. His shot deflected. Picked up by Falloon. Centered. Swept at by Quinn, but he couldn't get it. Cullen the other way.
Eric Lindros doesn't have a point, but he sure made a point.
And he set the pace for this early on. First shift. Cullen down the middle, shorthanded. Takes the shot and scores! A shorthanded goal with 2:01 left to go in the 3rd by Cullen. Puts Tampa Bay on the board. 4-1 Philadelphia. And Hextall will get the big cheer from the Flyer fans.
Made the saves when he had to. That was kind of a softie, just a little wrister that looked like it found its way between Ron Hextall's pads. But with 2:01 to go and a 4-1 lead, Ron Hextall made the big saves when he had to. John Cullen has just continued to come on. I mean, John Cullen, for a 180-pounder, has taken on big men, way bigger than him. That one he got knocked by Carl Dykhouse and still was able to stay up on his feet, spin, let it rip. Yep, found the way through Ron Hextall's pads.
His second shorthanded goal.
He'd like to have had the shot, obviously. Cullen coming back after missing the last game with that hyperextended right elbow we talked about. So this is the 4th game he's played in this series, which is in his 5th game. And he's got his 2nd goal. Cleared back in, not a short-handed goal. Rolls around the boards. Ulanoff flipped it out through center. Knocked down, cleared in by Kyle Anderson. Cullen from Burr, short-handed. 17:59. We're down to a minute 36 left to go here in period number 3. There'll be no icing here, even if it had gone by the line. Ulanoff cleared it around or tried. Holder came back to get it. Holder starts it up. Holtz changing behind the play. Sent in. So not a good night for the Florida teams as the Bruins finally won one against the Panthers. And the Flyers about to extend this series with a 3-2 edge here. Another minute and 6 on the clock. In the middle, Brandamore. Tampa Bay back. Falloon the shot. Wide on Reese. 1 minute left to go. Quinn held that one in. Brandamore centered. Falloon knocked it down. Lloyd's the check behind the net. Cleared up. Post check to Bellows. Bellows. Sullivan off on the near side. Long pass, though, and Desjardins was there to get it. Again, cleared back the other way. 39 seconds left to go. Game of physical power here tonight. Knocked away by Falloon. He centers it. Comes all the way to the blue line, though. Here comes Bellows. Bellows tried to drop it off. Knocked down. Quinn's got it. 20 seconds left to go. The total in this game, 1 game misconduct, 6 10-minute misconduct, 6 1 match, 2 fighting, 5 double minors, and 17 other minors. 144 penalty minutes in this game. 6.7 remaining.
Not real pretty, folks, if you've been with us since the opening face-off. Yep, old nasty time hockey or old time nasty hockey, doesn't matter how it's written. Not pretty, but it tells you about the resolve and the passion and the determination that players bring to the ice surface this time of the hockey season, and this is after fighting for 82 games to get to this stage.
Wouldn't know they were the number 8 team. And that's it. The Flyers take the advantage in the series, 3 games to 2, as they have beaten Tampa Bay 4-1 at home. Ron Hextall, an outstanding job in net. Renberg, Podine, Falloon, Leclerc had the goals for Philadelphia. Cullen ended the shutout at 17:59 for Tampa Bay. Our final score, the Flyers 4, the Tampa Bay Lightning 1. And now Philadelphia leads at 3-2. Our National Hockey Night continues playoff.